Probably not. We're live, by the way.
That was early.
3 minutes. We got some guys in the chat already, or some people
3 minutes.
in the
Make
chat.
them wait. Make them wait.
8:27 my time, bud. 9:27 your time. I knock out 2 episodes.
Good thing I fixed my hair.
I didn't, but my hair always looks fabulous. No, it doesn't.
FABOLOUS.
Jason J says switching to Fidelity once AMC squeezes. I love it, man. I know this, I saw somebody else. John said something about the Fidelity video I came out with today. I'm loving the new app.
Why Fido?
Because I'll tell you why exactly.
Yep, I'm listening.
1, very reputable, trustworthy, great customer service brand. It's been around. It's like Vanguard.
It's not like Vanguard.
How is it not?
Okay, go ahead.
2, their user interface, even before this new app came out, was probably the best out there for those types of brands. Your Charles Schwab's, your Vanguard's, your Fidelity. Fidelity was the best in my opinion. Vanguard sucks. If Vanguard had a good user interface...
That's a bold statement, sir.
Vanguard sucks with user interface. That's what I'm getting at.
Well,
go ahead.
Agree.
It's
What's your
dog
goal?
shit. Complete dog shit.
What are you doing inside Fido?
What do you mean? I got a taxable brokerage account.
What's your strategy for that? Like I'm saying, like
building dividend income.
So what do you need? Why are you such a millennial that you need all these flashy, pretty user interfaces?
Because it's easy for me to use and navigate. I mean, could I go buy the stocks on Vanguard and sit in my dividend account and be fine? Yeah, probably. But the ease of doing that, and there's a lot of things Vanguard misses out on too. Like Vanguard doesn't give me my full cost basis on everything.
You do have to take the cost and divide it by your shares.
Yeah, you got to figure it up manually, which again, it's another hoop I got to jump through. Like I don't want to do that.
What's up, Carlos? Yeah, no, I agree.
Josh is in the house. Sean.
But then again,
that's my thing, dude. Like
I've stopped using Vanguard for my primary brokerage as well.
You use them with finance.
I'm using them with finance.
And you like them.
We'll talk about brokerages.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the Monday's episode, which we're starting out with first this week.
We're gonna start with Monday.
Yeah, because we got some good news for the podcast.
We are early. Do we want to let the cat out of the bag yet? Let the people that were planning on 9:30.
Are we recording right now? Because I haven't actually. Haven't recorded yet.
Hey, there was something. Maybe your gain was up. I had to use the backup audio again last week.
I noticed that. I don't know what's up. Like
you noticed that yours there was like a little hum?
It was a little something was off.
I think you just had your gain up too high.
I'll turn it down more.
I'll likely be switching from M1 to Fido. Oh my god.
I'm telling you, man, like Fidelity's where it's at, dude. Like I get M1, it's still newer. The borrowing aspect's cool. I like that. How you can borrow against your portfolio.
God. So nice.
I do like that.
For cheap.
2%, man. Yeah, you can't beat that.
Not a big margin guy, but if I need, like, dude,
if you want to go buy a rental property with it, like if you just stick all your cash in M1, borrow against that as a 2% rate as a down payment, like as long as you calculate your numbers and everything works, dude, like I don't know, why not?
Yeah,
I'm recording.
Or like if there's I'm sorry, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but
we'll talk about all this again. I mean, why don't we just
if there's a 20% drop again, you bet your ass I am going gills. This is going to be my gills taking out margin on 2% margin on M1 Finance.
No, so that's
everybody else said when you have your $100,000 in Fido, what are you going to do?
That's the thing, though, bud. Like, no, you can margin pretty. Fidelity gives a pretty cheap rate too. I don't know what what they are right now. I may call and ask them, but that's something I've asked myself. I'm like, okay, if we see another like March 2020 happen,
Yeah.
what's my like limit? Like what's my limit of around? Because I'm like against margin. I'll never use margin. But what's my limit of like, holy shit, these stocks are on sale. Like I need to unload all of my cash. What's that percentage drop that I'm like, balls to the wall? All of my positions are down 20+%. I'm buying up as much as I can. What's my kind of like, where am I? Where's that fine line of like, okay, JJ, let's tap into that margin now that you've ran out of cash.
Why are you so okay? Oh, gosh, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Why are you so okay
Do we want to save
leveraging?
this? Do we want to save it?
All right, yeah. Don't
Let's
answer this
save it.
question.
I won't.
Don't
Let's
answer
save
this
it.
question, but I'm gonna ask it
I know
because
what
I
it is.
forget because I've been drinking.
I know what it is.
Why are you so okay with leveraging real estate,
I know.
but you're not okay leveraging stocks?
We'll answer it.
At 2% when your mortgage on your real estate. Okay, we'll get that.
I have a great answer for that, by the way, too.
Okay. What do you got in there? What's in your sippy cup? Do you have a sippy top on there?
No, it's a coffee cup. It's like a coffee mug.
What's in there?
Guess.
Water.
No. What did I drink last week?
Gin and tonic?
Close. Vodka Sprite.
Oh.
That's all I got in the house is vodka. That's it.
What's up, Cliff? How are you, buddy?
Robin's in the house.
Yeah,
Andrew's
I said
in the
hello.
house.
Oh man. So for everybody in the chat, we've been doing the last 3 weeks. Actually, this is the third week. We've been doing a Friday and then a Monday. This week we're going to do a Monday, and we want the chat to be involved. I can see the chat, but I can't see how many people are in here right now. Usually we have like 20 people.
We got 20 people in here right now.
Okay, perfect. So this is going to be for the chat. We're going to have a good time. This Monday episode is going to be around the breaking news, the big news, which isn't a surprise to many people, but we wanted to take the opportunity and I think talk about what. Maybe I'll just do the intro and they'll just get.
Go ahead.
All right. Are you ready to go?
I'm recording.
You're good.
Hopefully my gain's down enough.
Yeah, be right at that, right at 12 to 6.
Between 12 and 18.
All right.
So you can always raise me up.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another episode of the Average Money Podcast. YouTube again, 3 weeks in a row. We're going to keep it going. 20 people or so in the chat tonight. It's just so much better when we get to go back and forth with the community. We posted on the live on the thumbnail, huge announcement. Hey, clickbait? I don't know if it's clickbait.
We're YouTubers, brah.
clickbait. But we wanted to take a full episode and we wanted to dedicate that episode. I think this is episode 69, but
69.
We wanted to take a minute and just kind of reflect on the last 7 or 8 months or so for us and what it's been like having a podcast. And it's because we're starting to actually get questions from other people that have podcasts and stuff. And I guess the big news, well, I'll let JJ tell you the big news. If you're new to this podcast, this is your first episode. Welcome to episode 69. We do this on YouTube whenever we can, especially when I'm off all summer. My name is Brad Finn. I am joined with now your tan, JJ Buckner. JJ, how we doing, buddy?
Cheers, dude. Cheers. To the big news.
I got a blue can tonight.
I got a nice little vodka Sprite. This is one thing I love about the live streams on the YouTube channel. By the way, guys, if you're listening to this on the audio version through podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, come check us out on the live stream one night. It's usually between 7 to 8:30 sometime Central Time on YouTube.
We did it 2 weeks ago, Wednesday at 8 Central. And then I think I texted you yesterday at 7:50 Central, like we ready to go. And
today's Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Because you called me right back. You're like, I can't really do it. And
yeah.
I'm like, I was hoping you'd cancel. Sweet. Let's do it tomorrow.
Well, usually Wednesday is going to be our plan. But if stuff happens, life happens, you guys know how it goes. We're going to be live on the YouTube channel. And it's a lot of fun because it gives me something to look forward to. You know, we get to communicate with the chat, bring the chat into the podcast as well. And I'm excited, man. But no. Do I just come out and announce this thing, man? I'm pumped. I'm excited, dude.
Big news.
Cheers, Brad.
Cheers to us
to
and to
a
the community.
100,000 downloads, baby.
Oh, and
Wow.
I gotta say, it was a little longer than I predicted and a lot less than you predicted.
Very true. Good point.
I wish we could go back and find. There's times where I like take notes on the episodes, and there's so many times where I don't. And I wish that I would have, noted when we actually talked about like what date it would actually be.
So
Was in it? Did we do a goals episode or something? It's got to be in there. The listeners, leave in the chat. What was the first episode that you guys heard from us? Have you been around since episode 1, September, I think 17th was episode 1, or did you kind of like catch up? But
So
man,
I've had a lot of people reach out to me and said they found an episode. Either they found us just through randomly searching through podcasts, or they found through one of our YouTube channels and went to check out the Average Marine podcast. And then a lot of them go back and they start from zero and go from 0 to 69 now, baby.
No, so we wanted to just like, I guess, just take a little bit and talk about what it's been like having a podcast and how it's different than YouTube. Talk about, just shoot the breeze. And then there are some things that we want to talk about. I think we wanted to evolve this into kind of like brokerages again, because we did make a video about, or we did make an episode about, leaving Robinhood and the different options and the world changing so fast that, there's even more apps out now and our opinions have even changed. And we definitely wanted to take a little bit. Someone said in the chat, my lawn cutting podcast. Some people have been around right from the beginning. Thanks guys so much.
I love that.
NASCAR all out. We'll get to that question in a little bit. I promise you, definitely. But yeah, I mean, the Bruce Wang episode. Yeah, he's Bruce Wang. Good times. And like I said, that's kind of why we wanted to chat, because you guys probably will bring back more nostalgia for us and the things that it's kind of like school teaching. So many times the students come up to me and they're like, oh, remember that time you said this or did this? I'm like, man, that was just a regular part of my day. No, I don't particularly remember that. And I'm sure there's things we said that like stick out in your mind, whether that was a crazy little banter and like whatever, or maybe something that like changed your, I hope it's more changed your mind about something financially and, helped you out that way.
So here's my thing though, dude, like since starting from, like where you and I started from this podcast and how it's kind of evolved, I love to think about how you and I stressed so much about like at the very beginning stages. Okay, what are we going to talk about? How are we going to structure this? What topics do we need to touch on? It's like we treated it as a YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
But what we found out real quick as we, the podcast grew, we got more listeners, we got more feedback, which is amazing. Keep bringing the feedback in the Discord or also in the Facebook group, is that people just like hearing us talk about money and talk about our journey with money and FIRE and our journey through investing in stocks and real estate and whatever it is. Because you got to think though, dude, like podcasting, at least for me, when I'm listening to a podcast, like, yeah, like if I can get some valuable information out of a podcast I listen to, that's great, grand, wonderful. But I'm not searching for a podcast to like learn how to do something at that exact point. Like, no, dude, like I'm trying to enjoy it, entertainment, and here's some other people's views on what they think of a certain topic or whatever it may be. So I think we finally like understood that honestly not too long ago, man. Like, I mean, it's still pretty relatively new that you and I've just been kind of, really like just kind of having a deep just conversation. Because I feel like even in the middle stages, we were still like, what's the topic today? What are we doing?
It was kind of that break that you took when you went to Hawaii that kind of just was like,
so true.
Let's just get back to shooting, because we've gone through ebbs in this 60 something episodes. When did we start the Fridays? Fridays, we probably started right around the new year, and we always wanted to do the voicemails and we didn't know how to incorporate them. And we also knew that we wanted more than one episode a week, but we're editing them and doing all the work ourselves, and kind of just like evolved into, I think we put so much pressure on ourselves on YouTube that this is like, guys, we're essentially just venting. Like, this is our opportunity to say things. It's not that we can or cannot say things, but in the podcast space, analytics are so bad compared to YouTube.
They suck.
Like for YouTube, it's almost
Too much.
over. Yeah, it's like over. I told JJ I deleted the YouTube Studio app, which is like if you're a creator, like gives you all your analytics, and I deleted it because it was getting so much. Where there's no algorithm that, at least we don't know about an algorithm, and
We still don't know what the hell we're doing. We're just having conversations, recording them, and posting them online.
we don't even know if 100,000 downloads is good.
It may not be, but hey, we love it though, dude. It's a
We like,
milestone that we hit.
I'm sure there's other like podcasters that are like
They get 1 million an episode.
they're like 8 months, bro. Like you call that a following? Like it's like we're naive, like we don't know, and that's probably good for us.
I love it
like,
though, dude.
We're sitting here like hooray, 100,000, and that could be garbage.
That's so true, man. I mean, like I said, it's been fun to build this like average money community.
Yeah.
Of just like-minded people who are trying to do, and I keep saying this, but who try to keep doing above average things with money. I mean, that's kind of what stemmed the name of the podcast. That's kind of what stemmed you and I coming together to start this podcast, to just say, hey, because they're like, dude, it's one of those things where entrepreneurs will talk about a product they created or something they did is like, well, I really wanted this thing and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I just created it. And I feel like you and I kind of did that on a financial podcasting standpoint. It's like there's plenty of great financial podcasts out there. Do not get me wrong. There's so many incredible finance podcasts. But I still want to find that just like two bros hanging out, sipping on beers. Because I feel like there's a lot of us out there who strive for that conversation of being able to talk about something we're passionate about: money, stocks, investment, real estate, fire, retiring early, all those things we touch on in the Average Money podcast.
Yeah.
And none of our local friends give two shits about that. So the Average Money community is kind of what you and I wanted to create. It's just a spot to where you and I can kind of shoot the you-know-what, talk about all those subjects, and just kind of lay low and just entertain, dude. I don't know, man.
I don't even say like I'm recording to my wife anymore. I'm like, I'm gonna go in the basement, hang out with JJ.
Yeah, I mean, literally.
She's like, oh, okay. Like she knows what I'm doing, but like I don't know, man. But I'll say this too. It's almost hurt I don't know how to say this. It's almost like hurt my love for the YouTube channel, because I go from like this where I feel so unjudged and I really feel like I could be myself.
Yeah.
I can crack a beer. I can make jokes about 69. Like I can do all these things. And then I go back to like the structured life of my YouTube channel. And that's kind of like, oh my God, it kind of like hurt me a little bit, you know? I don't know.
A podcasting life and YouTube life, two totally different things, man. Like you said, like we're definitely ourselves on YouTube, but there's a little bit of I mean, go watch our videos and then listen to our podcast. You can tell there's a complete difference in how we speak, how we talk, because the podcast, I mean, Brad does some, editing to get the ums and whatever out, but you guys hear me make a complete ass of myself when I lose train of thought, when I don't know how to pronounce words.
I'll say this. I mean? I very, very rarely, and this was even before we were doing the YouTube thing, I very, very rarely ever edited out anything. Like I never edit out anything we said.
Yeah.
It's
just to clean it up.
I said it. Yeah. I edit if we repeat ourselves, we got to go hold on, JJ, I got to go take a pee break. But
yeah.
I can't say we don't do it. And if we do ever take something out, it's always when I'm going back and editing, I'm the school teacher in me is very PC. And I understand that like in the heat of the moment, things can sound like different. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
the last thing we'd ever want to do is offend anybody, especially in this world. But our goal is never to do that. But there's been some times where like we're joking and it's just like, hey, let's leave names out of this, or like, let's not call, because like, for example, like we have relationships with other YouTubers.
Yeah.
Like friends.
Yes.
And we're sitting around with our friends and we're busting chops. It's funny. But like if you were listening and you're like, whoa, that's not cool. He sounds like that's fucked up.
Yeah.
So like there's that time, but no, we never really do that.
Yeah, it's like I said, man, it just goes back to getting a that's one thing I love about podcasting. It's just a way to get to know everybody a little better. I mean, cuz there's no way you'll be able to get an understanding of kind of who you and I are from our YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I mean, like you can get like we're we're both, good old boys, whatever, on the YouTube channel, but to really get a full understanding of our each of our personalities, I think you and I'll be honest with you, man, like I think you and I have a good what the hell you call it? Chemistry? Is that a little
That's getting edited
should I have
out.
said? What's the word I'm looking for, dude?
We have a good I don't know.
I blew it.
I
I blew it
think
on that
I
one.
know what you're saying because I feel it too. But no, but I think what it is that we're not faking, like we don't fake our friendship.
No,
We're like
yeah,
we're
yeah.
like we're really like it doesn't need to be scripted for us because you know, we talk via text pretty often, but
And
we don't really
our
get
kids FaceTime each other, like, I mean, yeah, dude, no, it's cool, and that's why I love this podcast because
I had people over last night
hold
and
up,
they're
go
like,
ahead.
you're talking to the dude that owns McDonald's? Because when I said to Mace, I was like, Mace, don't you own them? And he was like, yep. And I had neighbors over and they like looked up, they were like, you you're friends with the owner of
Oh
McDonald's?
my
And I was like, poor broke idiots that just bought a house they can't afford.
god.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's
Compatibility.
funny.
That's what somebody just said. We have a good compatibility. Thank you, Josh.
Compatibility. Josh is
That's
coming in clutch. The
so
OG.
so much less innuendo than chemistry.
Yeah, yeah. No, there was something I was gonna say about podcasting, friendship. What was I gonna say?
Do you think more
Gosh,
people should
dang
start
it.
podcasts?
I think so, dude. I think that's where a lot of it's. I think the longer form audio content is where a lot of people are going. Because I mean, who said it earlier about like grass cutting, the grass cutting podcast? That's the
Yeah,
first thing I do when I go cut grass is turn on a
yeah.
podcast.
Some people don't listen to podcasts though too much.
Dude, I think it's gonna grow on people. I used to not be
Yeah,
that guy either. Like I mean, go back 2 years ago in our space, podcasting was starting to pick up, and I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't listening to that. I don't care about that. And then I got into it. I'm like, wow, I like this. And now I'm starting to figure out, like, dude, okay, one dude I absolutely love is Theo Vaughn. Do you know
no
who that
idea.
is?
No idea. I'm also very
Oh
fickle
my
when it comes to podcasts.
gosh.
I can only like listen a couple episodes and then I need to go somewhere else and come back. Like my scatterbrain, I can't like get on a
Dude,
podcast.
dude, I'm telling you, you're gonna love him. He is effing hilarious. The dude is just. I wish I could be as half as funny as that dude. As half, a quarter, an eighth as
Now that I'm
funny as that dude.
now that I'm on summer break, I don't listen. I usually listen to my podcast in the car with no commute now.
Mm. Most of mine is either whenever I'm cutting grass or if I'm up here working.
I
I'll
gotta
throw a
ask about the cutting
podcast on.
grass thing because like I think about that. Isn't it like so loud? Like my mower is loud.
Well, I have noise canceling headphones that I use downstairs. It helps. Definitely help. I can hear it for sure.
Okay.
Turn it up all the way, noise canceling on, and I have no problem hearing. Not at all.
You have a ride on though. You have zero turn though.
I do.
I'm like pushing.
Oh God, screw that, dude.
Pushing.
Speaking of money and cutting grass, I've been thinking about something, dude.
You're gonna start a landscaping business?
Oh God, no.
Oh.
I don't have no time for that.
I was like, those lawns are big in Missouri.
No. Oh God, yeah. Well, speaking of that though, bud, is I've been thinking, which my wife's on board for it. I'm still up in the air because I love cutting grass. It's my time to like just kind of
Don't
relax.
say it. Don't say it.
I'm so close to hiring
Don't say
somebody
it.
doing
Don't
it.
say it. Don't say it.
Yep.
Why?
That's about 2 hours a week I get back.
2 hours of drinking beer and listening to podcasts and sitting on a mower?
But dude, think about it though, man. Like that's
How much
time.
slower do you need to how much slower do you need to take down 2 hours of your life?
So you're totally against this.
Hold on a second. You just said to me that sitting on a zero turn, listening to podcasts,
Well, hold up. It's not just that.
drinking
Okay.
beers for 2 hours a week doesn't fit into your schedule? What the hell? What are you doing?
Dude, okay. Let me tell you a couple other factors that have come into this. One, it will literally cost me about 20 to 25 bucks a cut.
I don't care what it costs.
Hold up. Two, think about how much more room I get in my garage.
Did you get a ride-on mower?
And I can sell my zero turn at a premium right now because everything is escalated in price, and I would make money on my zero turn versus what I paid for it 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago.
What are you going to use that 2 hours for?
Whatever the hell I want. Lay on the couch on TV.
If I had to paint the perfect
up,
if I had to paint the perfect 2 hours of time, that's 2 hours where your wife's not talking to you. Your kids aren't bothering you. You're drinking beer. You're listening to the podcast. You're out in the sun, taking in nature. Like if I had to script a perfect 2 hours a week, throw in vacuuming in the pool, and we're golden. And you're gonna pay somebody for that?
Yeah,
I do that shit for free.
That's true.
I do that shit for free.
I do love my grass cutting time. I think honestly, man, the biggest part of it wasn't really the time aspect. It was getting the room in the garage. And maybe I just need to buy a shed.
I was gonna say buy a fucking shed.
I know. The reason I said that though is because
when it's windy, like right now we have like a little bit of a storm going on. I am so pumped because I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna have to vacuum the pool. I'm gonna be like, Tari,
I gotta go vacuum it. Sorry, babe.
Tari, look at this. We're having a 4th of July party. I can't. I gotta get ahead of this. Look how many freaking leaves.
Dang it.
I gotta get ahead of this.
Babe.
And while I'm out here, I might as well mow the lawn.
Might as well pick up the leaves, even though it's summertime. Yeah. There's no leaves on the ground. But hey, I gotta go do it, babe.
You ever see on like TikTok where the guy like is like, how do I get my wife to leave me alone? He's like, I go down and he's drinking out of a flask, and every once in a while he just starts to go yes. And then just keeps drinking. Yeah. Every once in a while I'm on the side of the house and I get the hedge clipper out and I'm just like, wee. I'm not cutting anything.
No. Here's the scary part though. The scary part is when the wife hops on the mower one day and she's like, oh wow. No wonder he wants to come out and cut the grass every 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. Carlos says you get 2 more hours with your family. Carlos, I am a family man. I am a family man. Do not take this the wrong way. I love my family, but I need way more than 2 hours to myself per week.
I do need some alone time for sure.
Way more than 2 hours. That's why I ride bikes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like I said, I'm not going to hate. Full disclosure, I used to pay somebody to cut my lawn. No, I didn't pay. I used to have a landscaper, but I bartered him when I had the CrossFit. His wife came to my CrossFit.
That's a nice little trade.
And he was like, hey, you want to like, and I was like, yeah, cut my lawn. But I'll be honest too. I don't like the cut. I'm a little bit of a lawn guy.
Yeah, you are a pretty particular lawn guy.
Yeah. They freaking rip around. They'll do it if it's raining and the zero turn. They have like super zero turns.
See, that's me though, man. Like
and
I don't
cut it. I don't like it.
See, but dude, like I love cutting my grass, and I just care if it's cut. Like that's all I care about. If it's cut and it looks decent, like here's the thing.
When you come in the summer, because you came in the winter. When you come in the summer, you're gonna be like, "Yo, you stripe your lawn?" I'm gonna be like,
dude.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, my wife's asking me because my wife's a little like OCD about a lot of stuff, and I am too. But I think she's a little more than I am. And her dad's like super gung ho lawn guy, so she's always grown up knowing that. And she's like, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm a complete like love cut my grass, but I'm not particular as in like My grass needs to be the best on the lot because I would rather spend the time putting what I would put into my lawn into building, making more money or whatever it would be. So she's like, we have these little what are they called? The little white flowers that grow in the grass. Gosh dang it.
Clover.
Clover. Yes, we have a bunch of clover throughout our
You don't pre and post emergent that?
Oh Jesus, come on, Brad. You kidding me? No. But
I'm Irish and I killed the clover off.
I need to buy some little spray or something cuz it's getting a little out of hand. It really is. But I did just buy weed and grass killer to spray around everywhere I weed eat cuz I hate weed eating. I hate it. I love
hate that?
Oh, I hate it, dude. So I sprayed everywhere I weed eat with grass and weed killer. So I don't have to weed eat for like 2 months.
Dude, I love it so much that when I get that thing going, I like want to do the neighbor's house. Dude, not like that's like getting like a nice tight shape up.
No, I don't like it.
You mow the lawn, it's good, but when you get the weed whack out and, and then you turn it upside down, you edge with it. Like
I will edge. I do edge when I weed eat, but I weed eat once a month.
You don't do it every time you cut the grass?
No way, dude.
So your driveway looks like garbage right now. The lip on your driveway.
No.
Like you don't have your driveway edged out?
No, I don't. No, my driveway's not bad. I get weeds in the middle of my driveway, but everything's pretty straight on my driveway.
I can't say this is like a proud
I don't know, bro. We're a money podcast, right? Not a landscaping. How the hell did we get here? But we got a good question.
We're a money podcast, and do you understand that $25 a week compounded over 17 years at an average rate of 7%? Do you know how much you're losing by paying for a landscaper?
But do you know when you got 2 hours back in your time that you can go back and build your business and make more money of passive income coming in from instead of going out and cutting grass? It's both ways, dude.
I will say this though.
Go ahead.
Also, full disclosure too, and this doesn't even apply to you either. Like, I also enjoy these things because I'm a school teacher, so I literally have nothing going on besides the YouTube channel and this and stuff like that. But like, that's like my summer thing. Like, I tend to the garden. I like to do that sort of stuff. If I had a full-time job, I'm not like trying to waste my Saturday off cutting the grass and mowing the lawn and weed whacking and doing the pool and doing all that shit because I'm not going to do it. So you're right. If I had a 9-to-5, I would be paying for it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah, dude, that's tough, man.
You don't.
I don't. But that is tough though, dude. Like working a 9 to 5 and then, I mean, I remember it coming home, cutting grass, trying to figure you got to time it, and then you got shit going on in the evenings with
dude across the street,
dude. Especially if you have
kids. He's got a landscaper. I don't bust his chops.
No.
Dude works too hard.
Yeah,
I say you have a landscaper, you probably work too hard.
Yeah,
I said it. If you have to have one.
If you have to have one, yeah, I would agree with that.
Some people's like allergies, I guess. I don't know. Papa's ear tech.
Yeah.
Let's talk money.
Well, we got a good question that's going to lead us into what we really wanted to talk about.
There's a couple good. I've been giving people the all coming soon.
Lay it on us, dude.
Someone said I'm gonna hit all the different weird. I'm gonna get all the questions. Did you guys secure any rentals yet?
Not yet.
No, but are we still I mean, we went pretty gung ho there for a little bit. Is like your agent still like on it? Or are we taking a break knowing that like the market's pretty screwed up, or just did we have a little bit of a run there where we got a lot of open things and just hasn't been anything on the market?
Dude, I've been looking just as heavy as we were,
because that's your department.
2 or 3.
So like, are we still like all in?
Oh yeah, I look as heavy as I did 2 or 3 months ago when we were making all those offers. There's nothing, dude. I mean, there is nothing that is a deal in the Kansas City market. So you and I touched base a little bit before we went live.
Yeah.
There's some deals in my local town that I may try to make an offer on. But the problem is trying to figure out how you and I are going to structure everything, what's going to work between you and I, who's going to manage what. But as far as the Kansas City market goes, it's tough right now. It
Yeah.
really, really is tough. If you want to buy a property in the Kansas City market, you are paying a very high premium
Yeah.
for that property. And the second interest rates go up, my realtor also told me that inventory is starting to pick up a little bit, so we may see a little decline in prices. Um, so with all that being said, no, there's just nothing for us to really go at. God, dude, I wish we would have got that fourplex.
That one
That was
still
such a
stinks.
good deal.
Matt asked if we're using Audacity. I'll talk about the podcast, the back end of podcasting too. Like if you're curious on like if you guys ever wanted, I always thought I was going to make a video on like how we started a podcast, but Audacity is pretty much a PC. JJ's using Audacity on his end. So I don't know if you guys, maybe we've never talked about this. I'll talk about it quickly. So we have the Zoom audio, which is why I have this mic here. This is what you guys are hearing. This is what I am recording into an external mic, external recorder. And then I have the Zoom audio going to that external recorder. And that's what I hear in here. And that's everything. So essentially, this external recorder from Zoom is JJ's backup. But JJ's got legit like single audio here that I bring in sync. So we can kind of cut out that Zoom type of feel to audio. So we're both recording our audio independently, and then we just have the Zoom mics going. But you use Audacity. If I didn't use Audacity, I did have the external hard. You could do it with just like what's GarageBand, I guess is
Mm-hmm.
I do my first run of edits in GarageBand, and then I run them through a little bit different software. But Audacity is kind of like the PC version of GarageBand if you're a Mac user.
Yeah.
Back to what you were saying. I want to talk about what we're doing with our money. I
Yeah.
think that leads in because I saw. Let me see. Not wearing a Met shirt tonight. No Met shirt tonight. Oh, JJ, what made you? So this will kind of lead into it, and then I think is there more? I just want to see because I know we're going to talk about brokerages. Trap Cracker said, "Hey JJ, what made you switch from Fido for your brokerage instead of Public or Robinhood or Webull?" We'll get to that. I'm a teacher in I'm a teacher in M1. I'm putting away 15% into my 457 all target date. That's through Voya. Should I drop down to a lower percentage and open an account on the side VTSAX? That I definitely want to talk about. So can I answer that, JJ, before we
Yeah,
get to the
go ahead.
brokerage scene?
Can you answer that while I run to the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, you can walk to the bathroom. Those stairs are
Okay,
steep.
go.
those are
They are
steep
steep.
stairs. So there's a couple different things, and this is not financial advice when it comes to retirement. I pride myself on how much education I have when it comes to retirement accounts. So please keep the retirement questions coming. Number one, I'm not a huge fan of Voya. They're an insurance company, and generally their fees are way, 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 way high. If you have a 457B, the difference between the 403, the 403 usually going to get a bunch of options. A 401k, you pretty much get the one your job chose for you. So the 403, you usually get some options. 457, because they're so rare, they're limited. So if Voya is like the only choice you have, okay, that might be something that you need to just suck it up, because even though the fees will be high, they're probably going to be low enough where they make it worth it, especially with the 457. The 401k and the 403b, maybe not. Target date funds, love them. I'm a huge fan. I will say this about target date funds. They are outstanding for people that don't want to do the back end and don't want to worry. All a target date is that company says, I'm going to tell you for what your age is, what the appropriate ratio of stocks to bonds is. That's it. You say, I'm going to retire about this year. They predict about what your age is using 63 as retirement age. And they say at this age, you should probably have this allocation. And I know Vanguard's because that's where I looked into it. Vanguard's doesn't start to change until you're like 40 something. So if you sign up for a target date fund in your 20s, you're going to have the same allocation the whole time, but they do put bonds in there. So I will say this about target dates, not against them. Generally, what I'll tell people if I'm consulting is to consider, because once again, this is not financial advice, consider moving your retirement date out past what you think you're going to retire at so that it's not a little bit too conservative. They tend to be a little bit too conservative on the bond side, in my personal opinion. And you can take a look at it, like look at their retirement date age. And because they don't care when you're actually going to retire, they're using that as the day that you're saying that you're going to be 63. So if you want to be a little bit more conservative, you can move your retirement date closer. If you want to be a little bit more on the risk side and a little less conservative, you can move your target date out. That's far as that. As far as 15%, I'm never going to tell anybody 1 to 100%. You put in what you can. The 457 max is 19.5. Obviously, I want the goal to be to increase that every quarter or every year till you can get to a spot where, like I said, at this point, years in, I don't even miss it from my paychecks. I took so little that like I did every time I did my grades, every marking period, 40 weeks. So I would do my marking period and then I would just raise it up by, I think I did 10% increase. So if you were putting in $100, the next quarter I put 110 in, et cetera, et cetera. And I learned how to live without that $10. And because it's tax deferred, it's not really $10 because there's taxes, whatever. But those are the things you need to think about. What are the fees for Voya? Is the target date fund a little bit conservative for what your needs are? And if you're doing stuff in your brokerage account outside of that, and this is kind of just your foundation, I'm for target dates. If you don't want a target date, just go with an index. Voya will definitely have some sort of S&P 500 index for you. Just don't go actively managed. Always go passively managed. And I love M1 Finance because it's set it and forget it. And like I said, drop down the percentage, open a Vanguard account. I don't necessarily, as we're going to talk about, and this will be a good transition into that. There's a tendency to put brokerage accounts on different pedestals for different things. And I think we're almost getting to the point where it's like a Cheesecake Factory menu, where we're overthinking things a little bit. Like we're not understanding what a brokerage account really is or what a brokerage really, really is. And then trying to understand like which ones we really need. And yeah, I don't know. And just before we get that, is it worth it to take cash out for home repairs by the time I refinance it? Is it worth it to take cash out for home repairs by the time to avoid debt? I'm going to do that. I think that's what you're asking, but
I think she's saying, would you do a cash out refinance to use that cash out you pull out of the equity to go in return use it as a
I'm not going to cash out refinance with my primary residence
to do home repairs. I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't either.
No.
I would probably
save the cash and do it yourself.
Yeah, save the cash to yourself. If it's something dire, like insurance should cover that. Yeah. Like if it's in need to get like something fell through the roof, then okay.
Yeah.
But and he said thanks. It makes sense. So yeah. So and if you ever have a follow up, if you have any questions, guys, about retirement, just leave them in the Discord, either mine or in the Average Mind Discord. We're all there, and I'm sure people can give that opinion. So let's go back up where it says, JJ, what made you switch from Fido for your brokerage instead of Public, Robinhood, Webull, M1 Finance? Let's take a trip down brokerage lane and where people might be at as far as why do YouTubers flip between brokerages every single day? Because I know I have 10 different brokerage accounts.
Yeah, me too. Shout out to Mumu, by the way.
we'll talk about that in a second. But like, why do I have 10? Do you need 10? Because I think the answer might be yes in certain circumstances. And how many like core ones do you need? It's almost getting to the point like buying stocks. How many stocks do you need in your portfolio? How many brokerage accounts do you need in your portfolio?
Okay.
So let's answer that question directly first. What made you switch from Fido to Fido?
So to answer that question, but also to answer yours, I really think that you only really need one brokerage account. Now, depending on how you want to organize your brokerages, you can have an account set for dividends only. You can have an account set for growth only if you want to combine everything in one taxable brokerage account, whatever. I think there's just so many. I mean, really, honestly, dude, what it comes down to is these free stocks. That's what it comes down to. Is all of these brokerages are trying to get you, me, the listener to sign up to use their brokerage and to fall in love with it and to want to keep putting money into it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these brokerages that you, me, other YouTubers talk about, we say, hey, get your free stock. We get a little kickback from it. And it's just, dude, like, I don't know what it is, man. Like, all of these new brokerages that keep popping up, I like them. I like their user interface is what I love.
Right.
It's easy to navigate. It's easy to buy a stock. It's easy to place an options trade. It's just everything is so streamlined.
But is one better than the other? Like, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, so, I think there's like for sure ones that like it depends on the type of person you are. Like
depends on what you want, right?
So true. So true.
Because
like you love M1 Finance. Link down below in the description if you guys want to sign up and try that out.
I hated on it for so long because I thought that I needed to be in, like, I agree with you 100%. You only need one. I dream of the day I can only have one again. I dream of that day. Mm-hmm. But like you mentioned, and maybe people will understand this now and understand what we say in this in our videos, and you'll know it's true. Guys, in our videos, when we say sign up, get the free stocks, it's free money. Like, you should do it, regardless of if I'm going to get a kickback. And guys, to be honest, what we get is ranges anywhere from like $5 up to $25, $30.
Yeah.
Per sign up, depending, you have to jump through the hoops and you need to put in this amount of, it doesn't matter. The reason that I have 10 is because I went for the free stocks, because I saw JJ promote it. Like, JJ's promoting Moo right now. I'm going to start an account with them. I'm going to put in $100.
Link in description.
Link in the descriptions. I'm going to put $100 in there. I'm going to get 4 free stocks, even if they're freaking penny stocks.
Wait, you get 2 free stocks. If you get 100, you have to deposit more to get 4.
See all these different.
I know. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I have no intention of using them as a primary brokerage. Now, will they blow my socks off? That's what M1 Finance did. Mm-hmm. I got into M1 Finance because I said to myself, I'm going to get those free stocks. You bet your ass I'm going to get those free stocks. Then I loved it. Where other things, and like, I don't promote things if it's like bad or if someone's going to get scammed. I'm not going to do that. Like, for example, Webull, I promoted them. I say it's great for some people. I don't use them. It doesn't align with my strategies, my goals, but do I still promote them to people? Yeah, because if I wouldn't have promoted M1 Finance, well, I didn't promote M1 Finance when I didn't really like it. And then when I got into it, I was like, man, I was being selfish and stubborn, where I should have just been telling people what I was doing and giving them the opportunity to figure it out on their own. And a lot of the times when we as YouTubers do that, that's kind of what we're doing. We're pretty much just laying all the cards on the table and saying, find the one that's best for you.
Yeah.
But there's not one. And
so, what's funny though, Brad?
Go ahead.
Is the one brokerage that I've finally picked to like go all in on. They don't have an affiliate or anything.
Well, because that's something we said too. Like,
yeah, so true. So true.
They're giving us money and they're giving the users money because they need to fight for market share.
Yes.
You're like, same as your freshman year in college. Like, if you're like frat party, $25 at the door or nickel pitchers, you're going to go to nickel pitcher night, right? Yep. Like, there's no need for, you can really freaking hate, like, guys, I hate Vanguard's user interface.
Sucks.
Hate it. Everything from not showing updated cost bases to not having fractional shares.
How you have to make a trade.
Like, they've gotten better. But the simple things that I'm like, in this day and age, you have to have like
Yes.
fractional shares.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
when I made the whole like I'm jumping from Robinhood as far as my primary brokerage, I'm going to Vanguard. I did it for like 3 months, and I'm like,
This
this is
sucks.
ridiculous. This is, and I really noticed it when I ordered when I opened an UPMA for my daughter, and she's depositing money in $50 to $100 increments, and I'm like, this is effing ridiculous. Not because they don't have enough fractional shares, but because I can go to 25 other places that do.
Hey, real quick, Jacob Chavarria said it perfectly. He says, "Seems like brokerages are like pizzas. None are bad, but everyone has a favorite."
Amen, brother.
It could not have said it better.
Yeah,
So
because
let me
people
go ahead.
because I know because people I just want to like I want to state for the record like people are going to be like JJ's this new thing moo moo like
Mm-hmm.
what the hell is guys, we find out about stuff because these companies reach out to us.
Yeah.
That's why they hit the market through us. They find us. They come to us and say, "Hey, I got this opportunity." And they usually give us a month or two to try it out so we can do our research and make sure that we're not presenting
See if
garbage to you.
yeah, see if it's even worth promoting.
And then when we do it, it's not as like we're not like shilling it out to you guys. It's just like, "Hey, guys, there's another thing on the market." Now, at this point, guys, if like your first brokerage is going to be Mumo, that would be odd to me. That would be like, but you don't know. You don't know when people enter the market.
Yeah.
That could be somebody's first brokerage. I've talked to people that are M1 huge into M1 finance, and they'll like DM me and be like, everyone talks about Robinhood. Is that like a competitor? Or even I say it to my wife. I'll be like, hey, I got this call from Mumu. They're thinking about having me promote their product. She's like, what the hell does that mean? Mumu. You know? I it's a terrible name, guys. It's a hard one to say. That's why I couldn't take the deal because I'd be in the video like, so the thing I love about Mumu, I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face. I'm really immature, but I'm usually drinking in my videos, but I couldn't say Mumu over and over
Dude,
again.
gotta say this though. I got a Google stock for one of my free stocks today.
Yeah.
2,500 bones.
Mm-hmm.
Insane, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's why we promote these too, though. Like, get your free stocks.
Yeah, even
Why
and
would you not?
especially with a brand new company. Because guys, what's worst case scenario? Let's think about worst case scenario. And here's why, like, and this is really, I'm telling you now from a consumer side, not a producer side. From a consumer side, just like I noticed, I'm going to put money into Mumu. I'm gonna use JJ's link because he's my buddy and he's probably gonna give me half back, even if it's in beers. I'm gonna put $100 in. I'm gonna get my two stocks. Worst case scenario, they're worth like $3, $4, and I get $7. Okay. In 5 days, when those clear and whatever, I'm going to take out $107. I'm going to have to pay some tax. Oh, taxes, Brad. I'm going to pay tax on that $7. But like who? That's like stepping over a $5 bill. And best case scenario, you land something like you landed today.
Yeah.
2,500. So it's like, why would you? I feel like everyone should just have $100 bill waiting around for the next like
free stocks
to come around and get free stocks.
So let me answer the question of why did I switch to Fidelity? So as we all know, I was a pretty big Robinhood user. I really was. I started using the app in like 2017. Been using the app for a while. I've seen so many new features come out since I started using Robinhood. And I loved it. I still do love Robinhood. Will always have like a deep place in my heart, but where they really crushed me was January, February, GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry, all that stuff where they halted trading. And they said, "Oh, you can only sell your shares because we don't have enough money on our books to cover our, the trading or however all that clearing system works." After that aspect, I was like, "Holy shit. Do I really feel comfortable leaving a potentially 6 to 7 figures into this brokerage that I plan on building up over the next few years?" And I thought to myself, I'm like, no, I don't think I would. If I had, okay, let's use $1 million, right? And I really do think I will have $1 million in my taxable brokerage account within the next, I don't know, let's say 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
I'm being bold, but I'm just going to say it. let's say I got $1 million taxable brokerage account within the next 10 years. Do I feel comfortable having that in Robinhood or Fidelity? Fidelity, hands down. Why? Because it's a reputable brand. They've been around the block and they have a lot more dollars on their balance sheet to be able to handle situations like the GameStop, AMC, and all that stuff. They're not a new brokerage, they're not a startup company. It's like a Vanguard. They are like a Vanguard. They're a reputable company that I can trust to be able to say, hey, if I got $1 million plus in the bank here, I know I'm going to be safe. Now, real quick, this is honestly, I get no kickback from this whatsoever. But I recently, Brad, I texted you this earlier today. I just applied for the Fidelity credit card. No annual fee, 2% cash back, and Fidelity automatically will take that 2% rewards cash back that I get, and they will automatically put that in my brokerage account for me to use as cash to buy stocks for.
I know. This is one of those
That's
things.
My go-to credit card now.
This is one of those things where in like a year, I'm going to have an emotional breakdown about Vanguard and I'm going to switch to Fido and you're going to laugh and you're going to chuckle and shake your head at me like you always do. And I'm going to have to do the old, you were right, JJ. You were right. No, but I stopped using Vanguard as my primary brokerage. I have my Roth IRA with them because when I do my Roth IRA now, it's one transaction.
Yeah,
I max it out and that's it.
That's how I am too. And Vanguard has all my retirement accounts.
Right. That's like where a majority of my money is for the same reason that you just said.
Same.
But like that, I personally love M1 Finance because I was so stat driven that I didn't want to overbalance or underbalance my portfolio. I like automated regular investments. So I was able to do that, like set it and forget it. I fucking love it.
See, I don't like M1.
I love it.
So
it's so mindless.
So let me ask you some questions that may help like other people thinking about this. So what you do when you set up your M1 Finance account is you set percentages in the stocks that you want to own, correct?
But you can also, there's 2 percentages that you can set. So you can set up like groups.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. And this is somebody asked about, should we have VTI and VOO in the same pie? You can. It's a little repetitive for me.
Yeah, it is.
I would choose one or the other. If you like, I wouldn't sell one off. Maybe I would. I don't know because I like to have like a nice clean sheet.
VTI has been outperforming VOO slightly.
So in my M1 Finance, I wish I could like present my screen. In my M1 Finance, I have.
You can share your screen, dude.
I have. Can I?
Yeah,
I can do that.
I mean, everyone who's listening on audio right now won't be able to see it, but go check us out check the YouTube video out.
Yeah, full disclosure.
They'll be able to find it.
I'll show it. Give me 2
so,
seconds.
I mean, you're practically saying what's going to happen is you have a pie within a pie, if I'm not mistaken. You can set your different pies up into different groups. So you'll have let's say you have a growth section. That's all your growth stock. You have your dividend section that has all your dividend stocks. You have all your REIT section that has all your REIT stocks.
Yeah. So ready? So I think I'm going to share.
Here we go. Yeah, this is working.
Am I sharing?
Yep.
Okay. So like this is it right now, $8,400 in here. So here's the one thing I hated in the beginning, how they only have one trade window. You can only buy stocks one time. If you have like their plus program, 2 times. Okay. I don't because it costs like $125 a year, but whatever. But this is fine for me because this is all my buy and holds. So literally, here's my first set of percentages that I have. So right now, like I have an auto money coming in. Say it's $100 a week. At 9:30 on that Monday, it takes that $100 and it balances these first. So I have Vanguard index funds, and I'll go into them and show you growth stocks and dividend stocks. And I will have a target and an actual set. And you can see It's usually pretty damn close. So I want this total 8,400. I want 70% of that to be in index funds. I want 23% of that to be in growth stocks. And I want 7% of those to be inside dividend stocks. Then when I go into my index funds, these are the 3 index funds I have in there. So out of that 70%, I want 85% of that to be VOO. I want 10% of that, et cetera, et cetera. So now every single time I do that, and guys, you can see, look how close everything is. It's freaking ridiculous. It's unbelievable. So, and if I want to change that, let's go into dividend stocks. Here's my dividend portfolio. They're not all the same. I have them going all the way down to 7%. I can go in and edit these. I can change these.
You
If
can
something
add new
happens,
stocks too, right?
yep. I can add new stocks to my pies. I can do whatever I want. I can edit them. I can do whatever. I can move them around. It just makes my life so much easy.
So
It's go ahead.
Here's my thing with M1 though, man. Like I don't necessarily like see, I'm not an investor on needing to exactly be at my 5 or 10 or 9 or 8% in this one particular fund or this one particular stock because for example, ATVI, Activision Blizzard, makes up around 12% of my overall portfolio in my 43 plus $1,000 brokerage account with Fidelity.
Right.
Do I want to own 12% of ATVI right now? No. But where I bought it versus where it's trading versus where I think it's actually valued at, I think anytime it hits around the $89 to $90 mark, I've been buying more in that stock. And with me doing that, it's raised my equity percentage in ATVI, but I also know I'm getting a good deal to where previously I would have not been able to buy at all when it was hitting those at those $89, $90 levels.
But
And I
you
would
can
have
still go in and buy individual stocks as well. You can still say I want $300 of this stock today.
so if I deposited $500 in M1, I would say I want all this to go into it. But how does it justify saying that you only want to own 10% in ATVI and your equity portion is actually 15%? Is it going to sell a portion of those shares?
You can set up rules, but you can just override it.
See, that just
So
sounds
like,
too confusing to
go
me.
watch. So like, say I heard VTI is going to just explode tomorrow, right? So I can hit VTI, I can buy, and then boom, I can just buy however much I want of VTI tomorrow. Done. At 9:30 in the morning, it will transact as however much I want.
But don't you have rules set that you only want to own 10% of VTI or whatever it is?
Well, what that will do, right, is that would definitely throw off my
Right.
pre-made.
Right, because your equity is going to be more in
Yeah,
VOO
but
or
like
VTI or
maybe it's,
whatever.
but if I got that good deal on it, over leverage it, I can just go to edit, and for that week, I could make VO 90%.
See, I don't
ATVI.
like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like building my portfolio based on the percentage of equity in my overall portfolio.
Right.
I like understanding, knowing
I
whatever.
totally get that because I understand. I understand because, but like for me, I want to be so set it and forget it. I don't.
No, that's true. No, and
You're
M1
more of a
Finance is
hobbyist.
perfect
You're more
for
of a
that.
hobbyist than me.
Yes, yeah.
But like, I think if someone didn't have their, and then like too, I'll just show you for anybody else that's never seen this particular platform. Like, you can go into your holdings, you can see everything here. This is all of the pies and everything I have, and you can sort them, things like that. But this is also great for somebody that doesn't have a Roth IRA with like maybe Vanguard or somebody else. Like, it's a great place to have a set it and forget it Roth IRA. M1 Finance has that. And I said, these are the pros and cons you find. Like, not everybody has retirement accounts. M1 Finance does. But I totally, because you are more involved in like the everyday movement of the stock market, where I don't want to know what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
But I want to know that when I go to bed every night, all my investments have been made. And to be honest, like the percentage things, I do vary them often.
Well, hold up.
And that's what I changed. Go ahead.
Stas just said in the chat on M1, you can turn off auto invest.
Yes.
If you want to do that.
Yes. So you
So,
can just hold cash. Like you can set up a rule where it doesn't start to invest in your pie until you have $10,000 in cash.
hmm.
So you can just go and deploy that cash whenever you want. You can have cash on standby.
It just feels like too much work for me. I just
Just
want to
like
go
any,
buy the stock that I want to buy and just leave it at that.
well,
And I
granted,
like
like
seeing my equity position. And if I see I'm at like 15% in ATVI because I keep averaging down my position, I'm like, okay, I need to back off a little bit on the ATVI and start
right.
unloading some money into my other positions. But
But you won't have to think about that. Like you can just set that and forget that.
right, but I'm also going to be missing out on those deals on ATVI if they're not
Right. You're a
structuring
little bit,
those.
and also too, like if news pops off during the day, you have to
Yes.
wait till the next day.
Yep.
It's definitely not for somebody that's going to be trying to add to positions or
Yes.
specific things like this for me. And this is kind of where I'm at with my investing career.
99% of people in one finance would probably work perfectly. If you're a set it, most people need to be a set it and forget it investor, which I am on
Yeah.
majority of my stuff. But when I'm buying my stocks in my taxable brokerage account, my one little thing I focus on out of the overall,
Right.
majority of my net worth and everything else, my little thing I focus on in my taxable brokerage account. That's the one thing I like to make my personal decisions on. Okay, I'm gonna unload more on Google. I'm gonna unload more on ATVI at $89 because I feel like that's a perfect value for them based on all their fundamentals and everything that I've looked at. I guess, yeah, man, like M1.
I get that fix. I get that fix
Yes. Yeah.
other places. I
Yeah.
get that fixed by trading options
Yeah. Yeah.
irresponsibly on Robinhood.
Yeah. I've been doing that too.
So it's like,
Yeah.
but this is where this is the human side.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I talk about like right now, I probably have $100 in Webull, and it's probably the first $100 I put in there. And then I tried it out a little bit. I got some free stocks, but I took them out. Like that was not for me.
Yeah.
And we both tried Public. It's great. It's awesome. It has cool little features and social aspects to it. But is it going to become my primary brokerage? No. Did I get the free stocks? You bet your ass I did.
So do you feel comfortable? Would you feel comfortable owning that $1 million brokerage in M1
No,
versus
as
like
soon
a
as I get to 200, as soon as I get to SPIC, I'm out.
See, that's my other thing though, dude. Like, why not just start it with Fidelity or Vanguard then? If you're gonna have to transfer it in the long
Because
run, anyways.
because they don't do what M1 Finance is doing for me, they don't do for me.
Hmm.
And because I know that when I get to $250, if I call Vanguard and tell them to transfer, they're going to transfer it for no fee.
Yeah.
I think they transfer anything over $100,000, they transfer for free.
Yeah.
So I can do what I now. Yeah, if Vanguard or Fidelity set up a structure that was that set it and forget it for me, that robo invest for me, yeah, I'm out. See you later. Have a great day. But no, I'm going to SPIC. When it gets to 200 grand,
You'll pull out and go to Vanguard.
I'm just going
or
to call
Fidelity.
Vanguard. I'm going to call Vanguard and say, hey, can you switch this over for me, please?
Yeah.
And they're going to say, yeah, can you give me the account number? We'll have it done by the end of the week.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you this, I'm starting that shit at zero again, and I'm going
Just do
right
it
back
again.
into
Yeah.
M1 Finance.
Yeah.
But I think if I was like to open like a legit, because I don't want a brokerage account. I'm a VTSX guy.
Yeah.
I have these stocks only because like I do enjoy it, but I'm downgrading them over time, and that's gonna happen. Like it's gonna come down. If I was to just open like a primary now, like say there's listeners right now and they're in Robinhood, they're in M1, and they're hearing what we're saying, they're like, yeah, large sum of money, I need to know where to go, and I'm gonna have a brokerage account. Like I'm gonna buy stocks and securities. It's not gonna be index funds. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go Fido. I'm gonna go Fido.
Oh,
I'm only
hands
going to
down.
tell people to do a brokerage account with Fidelity if they're going to like just do index fund, like 2 index funds, and that's it.
You mean Vanguard?
Vanguard, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Fido's doing better on their brokerage account because they see where the market is.
Yeah.
The market isn't index funds right now. It should be, but the market right now is let's get this. I seen it. I seen their interface. They get their fancy little symbols, and there's a lot of things that Vanguard doesn't do right. But Vanguard has no problem coming out and saying, we're here for low fee, long term index fund investors. If you want to dabble in brokerage account, yeah, we're probably not the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun. We'll see you when your net worth gets something that you're scared to keep in other places.
True.
And until that happens, but I think there's no question in my mind that Vanguard and Fido are,
Yeah.
as far as like
Most
where
reputable.
yeah. The
Yeah.
other ones are still like, I don't know, still feel like a little like slimy to me, like
Too new.
a little, or no, but I mean like the big ones like E-Trade and like even like
Oh, really?
Thinkorswim and all those, like they just, I hear you tell stories about like on E-Trade when it was like $10, $12 to make a trade. Like to think that I know that that was the norm.
Well, I
I
don't
know that
think it's
that,
like that anymore.
oh, well, definitely. I don't think you could compete in the
Yeah, I
market
don't
right
think
now
you
if you
could do.
still
Yeah, you'd
paid.
be out of business.
Yeah. I mean, unless you have these people that have billions of dollars in
Yeah.
E-Trade and then like they don't really care about those transaction fees, but I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Carrie made a good point, and I think she summed up M1 Finance perfectly. And why couldn't I just say this? She said, M1 is for investing, not for trading. I think it's, I mean, when you're buying stocks, I mean, when you have a brokerage account, you are investing, but
yeah, I mean,
it,
like I don't trade stocks. I'm not
yeah.
trading. I don't trade at all. I buy and hold, and I buy and hold based on where my stocks are
Well, we
priced
trade
at a certain
options.
time.
We trade options.
Right. Well, no, but I'm saying on my Fidelity account, I'm not trading stocks. I'm buying and holding.
If you're
I
not a,
don't base it off of really, like I definitely have a rule where I don't want to get over too much of equity in one company. Where ATVI, I'm at like 12%. I'm like, I'm a little heavy in ATVI. So honestly, what I'm doing is I'm just unloading some extra cash in VTI right now, up in that equity in VTI, which is lowering the equity in ATVI. Makes you feel a little better. And then I'm like, okay, if ATVI drops at under that $90 mark, I'll buy more.
if you're not a YouTuber, how many brokerage accounts should you have?
One, maybe two, if you want to separate dividend versus growth. And you could have same brokerage. You can have with the same brokerage, just have two separate accounts if you want to. Like if you
Yeah.
just want to be organized that way. But nah, dude, if I'm not a YouTuber, one brokerage.
But are you still going around to the 20 other ones and scooping up all the free stocks and just not using them?
150%.
Yeah.
I'm putting in my $100 or however much it gets me to get those free stocks. Get those free stocks, pull them out, do whatever I want with, keep them in, let them grow, whatever you want to do. I'm not saying you have to sell them.
Right.
Keep them in there and just let them grow for the next 20 years if you want. It doesn't matter. I mean,
Now, as far as what that one is, that depends on you.
that's totally dependent on you. Try them out. Don't just like throw the money in there and just say, okay, I'm done. Like try them out because you may find something that you really like. Like trust me, guys. Like when I started with Robinhood in 2017, fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. I was using E-Trade before that. Tried Robinhood. Robinhood was amazing, and this was before everyone hopped on the Robinhood train. I mean, we're talking 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. I've sold my portfolios quite a bit to pay off debt and do other things and whatever, but it's definitely been something that I have found out. Robinhood is one one brokerage that I really do enjoy using. But when it comes down to it, now I'm at the point where I know I'm not selling my brokerage anymore. My goal is to grow it to the million plus, amount. Fidelity, where I feel like is the most comfortable and the most reliable spot for me to put it. Also getting that user interface check mark checked as well.
Would you say that it's safe to say right now in the current brokerage space, if there's something that's frustrating you about your current brokerage, there's probably somebody that's doing what you want yours to do?
Oh, for sure.
Like I can't think of,
I mean,
I don't know one that checks every box, and I don't think they should.
Well, no, hold up. I'm telling you right now, I guarantee you Fidelity is close.
Okay.
Fidelity's close. It really is. I mean,
and it sucks because they don't have a referral because
I know because they know like we don't need you, stupid
because
YouTubers.
they know that Brad Finn and JJ Buckner are smart people and they're
Yep.
gonna but there is definitely, if you're like in your brokerage and you're like, damn, I just like me with freaking the fractional shares.
Yeah. Yep.
Like if you're saying to yourself, like, damn it, why won't they do this? Why won't they do this? And you can go find somebody else. Now, granted, that might come at a cost of something else that frustrates you about that site. But I mean,
Just
that's
try them all out. Get your free stocks.
yeah.
Dabble in all of them. And I think for most beginner investors, you're gonna be all right because everyone's insured. It's really when you start getting to that upper six-figure number, 250 plus, is when you really need to start thinking, okay,
And the big ones like Fido and Vanguard and stuff, they go above and beyond SPIC.
yeah.
Like
And
they'll
they're
insure it.
also they have their balance sheets, the cash they have on hand is way more than Robinhood, M1, Webull, Moo, all this. So
If you had $1 million, you can only put it in one spot.
it's Fidelity or Vanguard,
Right.
hands down.
Right.
No questions asked.
I'm not pieing that shit up at all. You give me $1 million, that $1 is going into VTSAX or VTI.
Yeah, so true. Yes.
So fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
I throw 25% in stocks.
I'm older than you 10%.
You are.
Coming from me.
Yeah, you are.
Gosh.
Good episode,
That's
bud.
I think we really did need to. You know, can you trade? How are the options like on Fido? Somebody just asked that.
So I haven't actually made an options trade yet, but I do plan on selling covered calls against Palantir, in my Fidelity account. I'm gonna
And
have
they're gonna have fees on that.
Yep, I'll have a video coming out on the channel, doing a excuse me, a step-by-step process of kind of like an options trading for beginners on Fidelity app, talking about that and my experience with that.
And for those of you that don't know, like, because I didn't realize this because I'm so used to Robinhood. So you're going to get a fee to fulfill or open that transaction. And then for most of us that should be trying to close it as well, you're going to get fee, which is usually going to be a different fee to close said option. So just be careful. Like I said, like people are like, oh, Brad, Robinhood, oh, they're the biggest jerks in the whole investing universe, bro. I'm like, to trade options, to go in and out, I pay the bid-ask spread just like I would anywhere else. They don't charge me anything else.
But with that, though, Brad,
yeah,
what I have heard from other investors who do trade options on Fidelity is that if you go place the same trade, now I haven't done this, so take this with a grain of salt. If you go place the same trade on Fidelity and Robinhood, you are most likely going to get your trade filled faster with Fidelity versus Robinhood. So with those bid and ask spreads,
depends who the market maker is. Yeah.
Let's say you're at a covered call or whatever it is that you're trading,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, I'll just bump it up another couple bucks just to get the trade in, get it set, done, forget about it. With Fidelity, you may be able to set it at that original amount, and you may get that filled a lot much faster. Yeah, you got to pay 65 cents to make the trade. What's 65 cents?
Well, that's just understanding like the bid-ask spread and who makes those bid-ask spreads and who's making money on them.
It's
and
so important to understand that.
There's definitely there's definitely more reputable market makers making, dealing with those big. I can guarantee you the market makers that are dealing with Robinhood are not the same market makers that are dealing with.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Sweet. That's a good one.
So with that said, if you want to try M1 Finance and get some free stocks, get down to the description of this and also that. And like I said, I'm full disclosure, and I've said this in videos, put $100 in, get the free stocks and get the hell out. If that's the worst thing you do, you're going to make at least like $10.
Same with Moo. Get your 4 free stocks.
I mean, like $10 is it worth me? Like, dude, while you're pooping, download the app.
Throw it in there, get your free stocks, pull it out if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might hit the Google like JJ did today.
Dude, that was
Class C Google.
That was nutty, man. I saw it and I was like, "Oh, what?"
I still feel like it's a scam. I didn't even know Google had a Class C. We got super chat.
Oh,
Brian,
did we really?
This last month, I have made a lot of covered calls on AMC. Thanks to you, Brad. I've learned so much on options from your videos.
Boom, there we go, baby.
That makes me so this one of the best compliments that I get is people in my Discord where they're like, "Hey Brad, I joined your Discord 3 days ago, and I've already made 45 times what you charge me every single month in premium. So thank you." Or like people be like, "I just upgraded to a year because that's what I made in premiums this week. Thanks so much." So Brian, thank you so much for the super chat. JJ, or that's gonna split a beer for JJ and I, and they add up over time. So thank you so much. And I'm glad that you made a couple bucks, man.
Yeah,
And I'm
appreciate
glad
it.
you paid it forward and shared that couple bucks back with us. I wish you would just sent it to me and not shared it with JJ, but JJ's gonna get all the moo stocks. Someone said, let me wrap this one up, then we'll hit to
Yeah,
because this is like the longest episode we've ever had.
it's a little over an hour.
So guys, we're gonna get to the chat. If you are available on Wednesdays and Thursday nights, head over to the YouTube channel. You can like click the bell. Like we'll usually post it a couple hours before, so you can, get all excited, go run down to the store and get your favorite whiskey or vodka if you're JJ, and you could join us and jump in the chat. And it's not one of those like spam chats either, where there's thousands of comments like you can't get in because we're just a little old podcast channel with 20 people hanging out, and we appreciate every goddamn one of you. Till we see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.
Boom, baby. Guess what I gotta go do again?
I was just gonna say I gotta go pee-pees. But you answer Nick because I don't want to leave. Can't leave him alone. Answer. I think Nick just shouted you out for something, and I'll be right back. Don't go. You talk this time.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I'm saving my my audio file. We're gonna call this. I have no idea what I'm gonna call this. Let me export the audio, and then we will get to the chat in 1 second, my friends. Save, export. Okay, done. I have to do this every time because I will forget. And then Brad wants to get these edited. Oh my gosh, Brian. Hey, thanks, bud. He said, JJ, I've also learned so much from you too. I've been watching you since January. I love that, man. I appreciate that big time. All right, let's get some of these chat questions here. Let me pull this over here so I can see you guys a little better. I find options are easy on Fidelity. ADR fees maybe. So I'm excited to check out the options on Fidelity. Like I said, I haven't made an actual trade yet. I've been doing everything on Robinhood. But I am excited to kind of dive into it and get a better understanding of, just how everything is, how it all goes, how to place a trade. Because when I was looking at it on my app, it was a little confusing. To be honest, seeing the slick, streamlined way that Robinhood has it set up, Fidelity's a little more not as clean, to be honest. But
did Brian throw you another $5 too?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, shout out to Brian, man.
You're the best guy. Thanks so much. What's up with the beer mile? I called you out. You in?
I'm down, dude. Let's do it.
We had like 20. I think we had 20 finishers last year. For all of you who don't know, I have an inappropriate 4th of July party. Like that one that your neighbor has.
While you're talking, I gotta go.
They're like one of those parties where you hate that neighbor next door for a full year because of that one party they had. That's me. And yeah, we do a beer mile every year. I'm a champion beer mile guy. Do you guys have any questions like specifically for me before JJ gets back? So glad to oh gosh, TTCF all day. Very long, very hard on them. I love them. I can't buy enough of it right now. I really can't, George. I think Plug was a little bit of last year, but I don't even know if Plug has, in my opinion, the long-term ability to succeed. I feel like Plug depends on a lot of different things going right outside of their control, where TTCF, they came into Target and had the greatest release ever. They release new SKUs everywhere. Kroger, the biggest grocery store on the freaking planet, they're about to start to pick them up. Walmart, they are just doing more and more. And even if they get acquired, they're going to get acquired for way more than what their evaluation is right now. So yeah, TTC. I love when TTCF does like a little bit of a dip. I know JJ, I'm not gonna speak for him, but I want to say he probably owns 300 shares. I'm more of a leaps guy. I don't buy 100 shares anymore. I just do leaps. So I have a bunch of leaps open on them, and very, very happy with at least my price point for TTCF and what I think it's going to be. Like I said, plug, I think plug just depends on a lot more people, a lot of things outside of their control, right? Their dependence. And I could be completely wrong, but I feel like they don't own 100% of their own destiny like TTCF does. And that's just comparing the two versus one another. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have a really, really big party. Brad, I have a 457 HSA. Oh, you are blessed, Josh. Is it better to equally contribute half and half or prioritize the 457? To be honest, bud, that's like, it depends on your age and if you think you're going to work till 63 or not. I can only speak from my own personal perspective. The HSA is not a lot of money compared to the 457B, right? As far as their maximums and things like that. So I personally would try and get to both. But if I could only do one, then yes, I'm going to dip into a little bit of both. I'm not going to go all 457B and then get to like 18,000 for the year and not put anything in my HSA. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure that I have things in my HSA, and I'm going to make sure that my HSA is squeaky clean and I'm keeping really good records, because I'm not going to take any of the money out for any of my medical until later on, because I want that to grow. And you can take your reimbursements from your HSA in 50 years, 60 years. So let everything grow tax free, and then you could take that out. But yeah, my goal is going to be to do both. I don't know if I'd be 50-50, only because the contribution limits are not like equal, but definitely dabble into two of them. Ryan Dempsey says, I got 2 leaps TTCF. JJ, I said you have about 200 to 300 shares TTCF. Was I off?
235.
235.
Yep. And I'm placing covered calls on 100 right now. I may place another 100, or I may place another covered call if it gets up to like the $23-24 range, because I'm placing my covered calls at $25 strike price.
Yeah.
If I get assigned, I'm okay selling at that.
Yeah.
I'll place cash secured puts right beneath it, buy it at 20, 21, 22. Average cost right now is like 19 something. So, yeah.
Jacob asked if I'm going to be posting the dividend versus ARC versus index video monthly. It was supposed to come out today, and I was actually talking to JJ about this earlier today. June's video, it got crushed. Like, I'll give you guys some like small perspective. on most videos in a week, I'll get between 3,000 and 5,000 views. It'll earn me anywhere from $75 to $100, and I'll gain 30 to 50 subscribers per video. June's video, what I lost like 30 something subscribers, which, guys, when you have 81,000, it's not a lot, but it's like the point. The revenue on it's low. The comments weren't that engaging after the first day of people watching it. And like, I'm so torn, because I know that there's still a following, that like people that were really interested in that video and in that progress. And yes, I'm gonna update it. Like, I haven't stopped investing weekly on it. It's that's my wife's M1 finance portfolio. And I definitely talk about it inside the Discord, but sometimes it's like, I have to be, when that video comes out, it's going to be a day where I'm just like, F YouTube and their analytics and how many subscribers you get. I'm just going to post that video. So the long answer is yes. When? I don't really know. Do we decide where we're going? If not Asheville? Oh man, 100 different places. James.
We forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, it's just a wormhole. I think, what are we up to now? We're going to Mexico.
I think Mexico is where we're going right now, but we got to wait on our passports.
Going all inclusive. Just traveling right now is trying to build a treehouse for your kid. It's like you're gonna go to Home Depot and you're just gonna be so angry you don't want to do anything.
Hey, real quick, Josh is
Yeah.
still in the chat. I gotta ask him if he was a voicemail sender, because he said I know we had a couple police officers send in some voicemails, but he says currently 25, police officer planning on retirement at 45 when that pension kicks in. So that's awesome, amazing goal. My question for Josh would be, what are your plans to invest outside of that pension? You know,
Right.
like what other investment vehicles are you gonna have set up besides just that pension fund? Because that's something I would want to be thinking about is, can I retire and live off that pension at 45 and then have that extra income from stocks, real estate, whatever it may be down the road to live off of?
Yeah. And guys, please, if you have like a real like question, please, guys, leave us some voicemails. Are we gonna try and get to one? It's getting late, but wait,
We
tomorrow's
can
Friday.
let's do
We
a
need
quick
one for tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do a quick one.
All right, good. Because
Are you down?
yeah, I'm on vacation and I have a slight buzz.
Let's go, baby. So do I.
Nick said currently downloading Moo. By the way, get the free stocks.
Hey, get the free stocks, dude. Let's go, man.
Not everybody, because I'm probably gonna try and get an affiliate with them too. So save one or
No,
two
everyone
signups.
get it. Everyone sign up right now. Go get it. Nick, let me know what you get, dude. Hopefully, you get another Google.
So it says, in relation to dividends, are there any REITs that are good long-term growth? Blah blah blah. When I stop at REITs, I stop at Realty Income for me.
I
But
do
you're
like
a stag guy.
I'm a stag guy. I do like Realty Income. I do love Realty. I'm not gonna fight with you or debate with you on that at all. But I do love me some stag. I do love me some stag, man.
That's really the only REITs that I touch.
Yeah,
Someone roasted
if I'm
me.
buying
I
if I'm buying any other REITs, honestly, it's gonna be something I place in my retirement portfolio that I don't, because like REITs, you have to pay a higher taxable, or you have to pay higher taxes on their dividend payouts.
Right.
It's not, I do like Lamar. Have you heard of them?
No.
Lamar is so when you're driving down the highway and you see the advertisement things on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
Look at the little letters underneath the actual advertisement, like on the actual pole. It'll say Lamar.
Yeah.
They're a REIT that owns, honestly, like I think it's 80 to 85% of the total billboards driving down the highways of the United States. Dude, it's a slick little business plan. I haven't looked into the fundamentals too much of the business.
Right.
But it's something that I've definitely wanted to look into a little more. But no, dude, if I got to pick two REITs, Stag and Realty Income. Brian.
I did a video.
No,
years
hold
back.
up. Brian just got us back with another $5 super chat.
I'll finish my beer.
Go, bud. Do it. That thing's full too, dude. Brad's drinking a Bud Light that he's finishing right now for you, since you gave us the sweet $5 super chat.
Need one more sip.
And I'm drinking a vodka Sprite. And I'm about done.
Joking.
Yikes,
Joking.
You all right?
$15. I'll chug a beer. Oh gosh.
Oh man. Hey, let's get this Friday one underway.
Yeah.
Let me turn my AC.
I want to finish these questions.
Go ahead.
I made a video about
blow in a little bit. Get
monthly paying dividend stocks, and like someone's like, this did not age well. Look at the cash, the CAGR on. I'm like, listen, dude. First off, did the video like 3 years ago, and great for you for finding like the one stat that made the one that you like a little bit better. So I think I wrote like, get him, Robert. But
can I tell you something that happened to me today?
Yeah.
I didn't even post about it. I was gonna post the guy on Instagram and blast him, but I didn't because I'm a nice guy. Sent me a DM.
Brian's hit me hard.
And some of you guys, you may not understand this. I don't want that to come off as like, I don't know. Just let me tell the story what happened. So I got a DM from a guy a few months ago, and I try to answer as many DMs as I can. I get a lot, and most of them are questions about, hey man, what's the stock? What are you What are you doing about this? What do you think about this? Hey, I got this going on with real estate. What do you think about this? And like when it comes down to it, I don't have enough time in the day to answer all of my DMs in a very like in the manner I could in like a voicemail on the podcast. I just don't have enough time. I got so much stuff going on. I got a family and everything. So this guy sent me a DM. I answered his DM because I could leave it in the. A lot of people may not understand, but I could leave it in the unread section. Like you have to click approved before it even shows that I read your DM. So I read this guy's DM. I answered back to him. I went back and forth for a little bit. And then usually what happens is they just keep asking you questions and questions and questions. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I just can't do it. So finally, I just have to kind of call it quits. Well, this guy sent me this real long 10 question, paragraph of DM. And I couldn't do it.
TLDR.
I couldn't do it. I just left him on red. And then he's like, he sent me another DM back that says, "You're a dick." After I answered 20 of his questions, "You're a dick."
You know my answer to that.
Dude, I was heated. And I literally, we're not recording right now. Some of you'll see this if you rewatch the YouTube video and the 20 of you watching right now, but
yeah, if you put in 2 hours and find this.
If I literally messaged him back, I was like, "You're real tough behind a screen." Who says that? Who says that? After I've spent my time helping you that I didn't have to do, I could have just never even answered your DM, and he wants to call me a dick because I didn't answer his 25th question.
Ask me my response to that later.
What would you say?
I don't know.
Dude, I was pissed, man.
If I was a dick, I'd be in your. That's usually where I go with it. That's usually my go-to.
That's
like,
a
you're
good
a dick. One. Because even if you like, oh man, guys, if you DM anybody that you think might get a lot of DMs, keep it short and sweet.
Yeah,
same thing in the YouTube comments. Like, there's been times where my wife was reading, like, why didn't you respond to this? This is a great question. Because she reads through the questions too. And I'm like, I missed one?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And she shows it to me. I'm like, oh, I just looked at that and it was more than 3 sentences. And I didn't even, not that I didn't want to read it, but like when I'm going through, I find like the quick ones that are just like thank yous. Then I go back up and I get the quick questions. Then I get the ones that are like questions that necessarily haven't been answered 45 times because the video's a year old inside the chat already. And then the rest I kind of just get to them when I can get to them. So
yeah, it's tough, man. It sucks. Like we want to help everybody, but you get to a point where you just can't do it. You can't.
Do you think
it's tough?
Ryan said, "Do you think McDonald's is a REIT?" I'm like, I said no, but I know where you're going with that.
They're definitely a real estate company. They own.
Right? Isn't their number one thing like they won't open a restaurant if they don't own the land?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Well, and they own most of the buildings too.
Right.
Their franchisees pay them the
Yeah, they have like triple net lease. They have triple net lease
franchises. McDonald's is a go-to, man.
They might be a REIT.
They're a go-to, bud.
What about how your morals feel? McDonald's killing people. Oh gosh.
I'll tell you what.
James said, "Wait, you don't have all day to respond to your questions." This guy won't even take 2 hours to mow his lawn.
I'm a busy man, dude. I'm a busy man.
I love responding to comments, but
I do too.
Behind the scenes, 2 pet peeves. Things that like when I ask a question, I at least scroll through to see if anybody's asked it.
Yeah.
Like my videos don't get a ton of comments. Maybe like my popular ones maybe have like 300. Like if you have a question, there's probably a good chance that somebody else has answered it or asked it already. So like that
take a couple minutes to scroll through the comments.
Just take a look,
or even just type in your question to Google search. It's probably up there somewhere.
Now, because they don't want to Google, they come to us for that. That's really my only pet peeve with comments. Is like when people ask questions that I've already answered like a bunch of times, or they'll be like, "Hey, you said you were going to link this video and you didn't," and then I wish I could send screenshots of my pinned comment and put that. Like YouTube needs to be able. You should be able to put pictures in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to knock out this Friday one real quick?
Yeah. Which one
you
do I
got
do?
No, you got the voicemail. You told me you said you had one. I don't know what it is.
God, Jesus.
And I'm gonna roll it into the intro. Brian,
Oh, God.
another super chat, bud.
You got to finish yours.
I did.
Mine's empty.
I finished mine. I don't have anything else. Well, hold up. I got a little bit. Hang on.
I got this warm PBR. It's been here for 3 years.
Brian, the trip to Hawaii was amazing, but I wouldn't call it a vacation. I would call it a trip because I had a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old with me. Now, Brian, if you have kids, you totally understand. Brian, if you don't have kids, you'll find out one day. But no, honestly, Hawaii was amazing. Made some amazing memories with the family, and we're already looking to book our next trip. I will say this: our next big trip, like big money spender trip, Greece.
Santorini.
We'll be there for sure, but it's going to be another 3 to 5 weeker.
I will go to Santorini in a second.
Let's go, dude.
Can we do like
a summer trip to Greece? I'm down.
I kind of want to do a Met like,
and
cruise.
We could split costs on like Airbnbs and stuff.
I want to do like a Met cruise.
Oh, I would love that.
Like just that just stops in Santorini for like a day or two.
Go check it out, and then go to Italy, then go to France.
100,000 downloads.
Let's go. Podcast trip.
Met cruise.
You do not have to talk me. We bringing kids? That's a tough one. How long? Because I can't stay away from the kids more than
I can't stay away from the kids. I know. And here's the other thing too, which I'm sure you're finding out right now. I can bring Avery anywhere with me now.
Oh yeah, Mason, but hands down.
I'm not bringing Brody.
He's a bro.
Anywhere.
Millie sucks.
My son Brody, and Millie's kind of well behaved. Brody is not one of the good kids. Brody's the reason why I don't go to barbecues.
No, Millie is well behaved, but
she's a tough kid.
She's still dude, the toddler age, man.
Like I'm going to Denver in 2 weeks, and I was literally saying to my wife, like, let's just bring Avery. Like, what?
Dude, she's so good, man.
She's
so
potty.
Good.
She's a very good kid. She's above average behaved. I don't know how that happened. She's potty trained. She'll eat whatever.
Yeah.
She loves the outdoors. Like, I don't know. All right, so voicemails.
Happy Canada Day to everybody out there my fellow Canadians.
It's Canadian Day?
It is. It was today, I think it was.
Awesome.
Yep.
Do you want to do
No, listen. So I'm recording. Hang on. I'm recording right now. Are you recording? Let's get this thing started.
Well, I'm giving you the choice because you need to play it on your phone. I don't know how to do the phone playing thing.
Oh. Well, which one is it? I'll play it, but you don't
Hold on. I'm going to ask you which one you want to talk about. Or we'll let the chat. Leave your vote. Leave a 1 or a 2 in the chat. The first one is a cash out refi on a primary residence and that strategy. The second one is a live in flip with using a VA loan. So I almost set in my notes here, I said pair with the first one. Do you I feel like they kind of go together. Do you want to play both of them and kind of answer both those questions? And we'll just kind of talk about cash out refi because that's the same thing. Live and flip, cash and refi. It's up to you.
Yeah.
One is
I don't know too many details about the VA loan though. I've never used it. That's something I would probably need to research a little more.
Okay, so do you want to do Sean's Sean's been in the queue for a month.
Hang
You
on, we
want to
got some votes coming in here. It looks like majority's won.
cash out refi of primary residence?
Let's do that.
That's Sean. That's all the way down to
Matt says 3. I'll call you right now. Speakpipe.com, baby. Leave your voicemail, Matt.
what does it, Matt? Do you have a good question?
Yeah, leave it. I mean, Matt, you can leave it in this chat right here, and we'll read it, and we'll do the voicemail right. Or no, for real, leave the voicemail on SpeakPipe. We'll do it. There's a link in the description.
If you want your voice, Matt, do you really want to do that? Because
we'll do it right now, Matt. We're calling you on the spot, bud, and it'll pop up in my email right here. I got it. I'll pull the email up, and it'll tell me as soon as you it's up.
He used it. He left one.
No, I'm saying it's up. Like I'm waiting if he wants to do it. Matt, we're calling you out, bud.
We'll give him Matt 1 minute. Or at least Matt, tell us in the chat. Like, are you going to leave voicemail?
Yeah,
if you
let us know if you're going to do it.
Because that'd be cool.
I'm reading.
No, I think if I remember the, hold on. Do you want me to? I can play both of these. Do you want me to play and then we'll let them really vote?
Hang on, Matt says he's gonna leave it. He says, "Give me 3 minutes, I'll leave it." Let's do Matt's.
Okay.
We'll do his.
Here's the other ones.
Go ahead and play those.
Oh, okay. Ready? I don't know if you tell me if you can't hear it. Let me know. But I think you might be able to hear it. Oh wait, because I might be on mute. Hold on. Okay, wait, hold on.
Hey, Average Money. It's so great to be able to leave a voicemail. Thank you for everything that you guys have been able to give everyone for the last few years.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Average Money. It's so great to be able to leave a voicemail. Thank you for everything that you guys have been able to give everyone for the last few years on YouTube. So I currently have a house that's worth $375,000. I bought it for $300,000. I've refinanced it already once and a second time coming up here in a week. The current APR is 2.50 and it'll be 2.25. So my mortgage is lowering and things are looking great. However, we were seeing if we should do a cash out refinance through the VA and be able to take that profit and use it towards another house, or be able to sell the house outright and be able to take that profit. Or the third option is just to be able to rent out this current house and save up like everybody else does for a down payment, either a 3.5 or a normal 10 to 20%. If you can give me your best advice, that'd be fantastic. I appreciate everything. I got a lot of people telling me what to do with the VA loan, and I just want to be able to make sure I'm doing the right thing for us, making sure that we're able to lock in the profits that are available to us and set us up for success. Thank you, guys.
I'd have to do some research on that one. I'm not familiar enough with the VA loan.
Okay, and I think I can summarize it. And Ryan, I think you're in here. I think Ryan's a VA guy. I think what the VA loan is going to come with a bunch of different things, but I think the number one thing that I know is very, very little. Ryan, help me out here. Very, very little down, no PMI. So what this question says to me is, hey, I can cash out refi this, get my primary residence at 2.2% and have all of that equity for a down payment for another property. And the second property, but see, we do need to do some research on the VA because that might only apply to your primary residence. You might not be able to apply the VA to real estate.
Matt just left his voicemail.
He did?
Yep. We'll listen to it live.
I don't even want to know what it is.
Don't even want to know what it is either. But real quick, I gotta answer something in the chat.
I'm gonna get a beer.
Okay, go ahead. Chris says, I know you're...
Brian, don't leave any more super chats.
Chris says, I know you're an American and all, but to not know that today is Canada Day is pretty lame, JJ. Sorry, dude. I honestly don't follow Canada. And to be honest, the only reason I know Canada Day is today is because of the YouTubers that I follow who are Canadians. I don't even know what Canada Day means. I really don't. So I'm sorry if that offends you, but I mean, I'm not a Canadian. I don't.
Did you offend somebody today?
I did. I don't know what he said. It's lame that I didn't know today is Canada Day. I'm not a Canadian. I don't know this stuff, dude.
You're a dick.
You're a dick. You don't know what Canada Day is.
You want to know some crazy things?
Go ahead.
This is my 15th beer today.
Yikes! Oh boy, you sure want to do this voicemail?
I got an 18 pack this morning, and there's only 3 more left upstairs. Yo, Ryan said, yeah, 0 down, 0 PMI for VA.
But there's some fees associated with it.
Backend stuff?
I'd have to look. Yeah, I'd have to look into it a little more. I do know Dave Ramsey doesn't like the VA loan. Not giving me an option to pick
U.S. as citizen. Just parts of China, Malaysia, etc.
That don't make sense.
My God.
That don't make any sense. Ah.
Oh my God.
Finish it, bud.
I just said this was my 15th beer today.
Finish it.
Before he put it in.
Finish it. And then we'll start the Friday voicemail of Matt's that we haven't even listened to yet. Go, baby. It's summer vacation for Brad. I'm going to download Matt's while you're finishing this beer. Oh, I love this. I love it. Brian, you're the man, brother.
No, I got to go to beer. I got to have a beer for the episode.
For real, though, dude. Like, I don't know when Canada Day is. I'm not Canadian. Come on, bro. I'm American. I know Canada Day was today because of my fellow Canadian YouTubers that I follow on Instagram. That's all. I don't even know what it means. Did Canada have an Independence Day? I don't know.
I'm somebody's father.
Oh my God, you are, dude.
I don't pay for these, so.
You ready to do these this Friday voicemail, and then we'll hop off this thing?
Hop off. I'm gonna fall off this thing.
Oh, you might fall off.
What time is it?
It's 11:19 your time. You ready?
Sure.
I got Matt's pulled up right here.
Give me an intro. I need a minute.
I'll give you an intro. You're good.
16. Lucky 16. Here we go.
Well, hang on. I've been recording for 15, 20 minutes.
So you have all that?
Yeah, I'm going to restart it. Hang on.
Oh, man. It's like their 4th of July?
I don't know. I don't know what Canada Day means. Never been taught it.
Canadian is still pretty lame. I did not. I'm going to be honest. And I teach in a school.
Chris, I love you, dude. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what Canada Day means.
I'm
never was taught it in school, ever.
Never heard of it.
Never.
39 years old. Never heard of it.
Until this year, because I follow Canadian YouTubers.
I literally just found out about it 5 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
No idea.
Yeah, I knew of it this year because of like Daniel Pronk, who's a couple, Brandon Beavis, Griffin. Those are 3 big Canadian YouTubers that I follow on Instagram.
Can you turn off your AC, please?
I'm getting ready to. Hang on.
Jeez.
It's cooling down a little bit, dude. I was sweating my balls off.
AB of Bud Light is 4.2. 4.2,
right.
And that's not a Saison.
I'm recording.
Don't even come at me with beer. It's just our own stuff.
Well,
Own
real
brewery,
quick, I want to say this to Chris. Happy 4th of July, even though it's the 1st. Brian's coming in clutch tonight, bud.
Ryan, I can't go up and get another one right now. But you have my word. This will be done by the end of the episode.
Let's go, baby. All right, I'm recording. You ready, Brad? I'll give you your intro, and then we'll be ready to go. So, well, I'll say this in the intro. All right. Hey, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Average Money Podcast.
Wait, hold on. You You think of the editor. You can't be drum rolling into your home. Like, you got to give me a pause to start editing.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Average Money.
Kevin, you're right. It usually is low fives.
All right.
Especially 4.2 to like 5. Yeah. The great Brian Hahn. I know. I'm glad that nobody else got on board. I mean, I would love the super chat, but like, I've got myself in trouble with the super chat drinking.
So have I. Bears Nation killed me one night.
He got you.
Killed me one night.
You were drinking dark beers. I think I was on that podcast, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. Killed me one night. Or actually, I think it was during the day.
It was a snow day.
I took a nap that evening. I remember it because I was hammered from drinking so many craft beers.
All right, give me, and then I hope Matt's still here after all this.
I know. I hope he is too.
There's a question. We might have to do this every week. Questions.
That would be fun.
Questions live from the chat get first priority.
Yep. Very true. I would agree with that.
Give me a pause so I can edit.
Okay, ready?
And then come in.
3, 2, 1, cut. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Average Money Podcast. We got something a little different for you guys. It's a Friday episode. It's a voicemail. It's coming out a little later than usual because Brad and I are actually recording this the night before, pretty late at night. Brad's a couple beers deep. We're live on the YouTube channel, Average Money Podcast. And we actually have a first time here of what's going on tonight. We got a voicemail that came in live from the YouTube chat. My boy Matt's coming in clutch. He says, hold up. Let me leave my voicemail question real quick. Leave it on speakpipe.com. Link in description if you guys want to leave us a voicemail. He left us it while talking to him in the chat, live on YouTube. We're still live right now.
He said, hold the chat. He said, hold the chat.
Hold the chat. Here I go, baby. Let's do this. I got Matt's voicemail pulled up right now. Brad and I have not heard this yet, so bear with us.
He might be trolling us.
Yeah. What if it's... Oh, could you imagine? That would be
Brian
hilarious.
Hunt is trolling me in the chat right now. I've had a cup of beer.
Oh, man. Too funny. So what we're going to do...
I guess if he's trolling us, we could always not do it and delete it, but I guess everybody...
Oh, no. We'll just make up our own little... If it's a... Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I have trust in my good friend Matt.
And the Eminem nickname. I mean, the initials Eminem.
Eminem. He just says, he's like, I got you.
Let's go, man.
Let's see what he says. I'm excited. There's a first time for everything, and this is the first time live voicemail we've ever got that you and I haven't listened to at least once. You ready for this, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I hope happens one day because, I mean, Ramsey's going to get canceled eventually. So we're going to have to slide right in there. And we're
the old Average Money boys coming in, baby.
The day that article comes out, I'm calling up JJ. I'm sorry, your YouTube channel is over. We're going live every single day at 3 p.m. and we're going to take live calls. We're going to hire a producer. That's going to be our wives. It's going to vet the calls. And yeah, that's what we're going to do.
What is it? Ramsey Solutions turning into Buckner Finn Solutions or whatever.
Buckner Finn Media. What is our legal name?
Holdings. Buckner Finn Holdings is what we are. You ready for this, bud?
Ready as I'm gonna be.
The first ever live from the YouTube voicemail.
Because we could have just read his question. I said, no, I need your voice.
Let's do it.
We told him you need to click the link. Yeah.
You ready?
Drink beer, cancel Ramsey. Jesus Christ.
It's just getting too fun. It's late at night. Matt, here's your voicemail, bud.
I think it is Friday. I'm gonna edit it fast.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and get it out like for commute time.
You ready? Matt, live voicemail. First one ever on the Average Money Podcast. Coming at you.
I'm watching live on your YouTube right now, and
hang on, let me start that over.
That's fine. I'll edit that.
Here we go. Ready?
Hey guys, it's Matt. I'm watching live on your YouTube right now and painting some stairwells, but you said go ahead and call in. So here's my question. How do you guys kind of determine when you're saving enough money and go through your budget? Like a lot of people did the cord cutting. You can kind of rate your quotes for insurance and other things, but what other items in your budget do you kind of feel that you need to weigh against other people or weigh against other vendors at large to kind of see where you're saving money or where you should be saving money that you're currently overpaying for something? Love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
Man,
Perfect question.
love it.
Perfect
Mostly because
question.
I love talking about debt and I'm not allowed to on YouTube anymore.
And budgeting and cutting costs. That's where you and I started from.
I think I have a couple unlisted videos that I've taken down. I made videos about this. And I have some great. Do you want to start? You start.
Okay. I'll go ahead and give
Because
my.
you never did. First off, you never did like the sit down with your wife and go do like budget meetings. Like you never did that, right?
Not really. No. I mean, we would talk about it every now and then, saying, "Hey, babe, we're a little overspending." So how Lindsay and I do our budget is we put everything on 1 to 2 credit cards, and I know roughly that we need to be between a certain range of money by the end of the month. And if I know roughly at like the 15th of the month where we need to be at, if we're a little higher or lower, I tell Lindsay, "Hey, we're a little over our middle of the month benchmark. Let's tone it down a little bit on spending or whatever it may be." But back when we first started budgeting, this is a great question. Like finding the good spots to kind of really hone in on where you want to cut costs, where you can lower your expenses. My first thing for Lindsay and I is where we spent most of our money was from eating out. That was where we spent all of our money, dude. So we would go out to eat Fridays, Saturdays. We go out. We would meet at lunch because Lindsay would work only 3 days a week because she was a nurse. We're like, "Hey, let's meet up. Let's do lunch here and there," you know. And by the end of the month, and this was back when we were actually putting budgeting in a spreadsheet before we knew roughly what we needed to spend, and we were looking at these numbers like, "Holy crap, we're spending this much every single month on food that we could be cooking at home at a fraction of the cost." So that's my first always go to when I'm talking to someone about budgeting is think about what you're spending out to eat. Think about what you're spending out for drinks at the bar. When you go out to eat on a Friday, are you buying 4 or 5 beers or 4 or 5 different cocktails at dinner as well? Because that stuff adds up so much. Pre-game before you go out to dinner. We still do that. Lindsay and I still do that. We'll pre-game before we go out to dinner. And we'll just get one, each of us will just get a drink or 1 or 2 at dinner and be done. And
You're lucky your wife doesn't really drink.
She really don't drink. So it's really me pre-gaming and then I go out and have one drink and then I'll drink more when I get home. But what it comes down to is the food cost. And then on top of that, think about all of those like monthly subscriptions that you have. Your Netflix, your Disney Plus, your, Xbox subscription, your whatever the subscription. Yeah, I feel like there's 20 different subscriptions you can have. So easy. Spotify, Pandora, I'm YouTube TV, all of these different subscriptions that you can come up with and pay for. Think about the ones that you really use. Let's say you have 5 of them, right? Let's say you have 5, 10, however many. Let's go with 5. Pick 1 or 2. Pick 1 or 2 that you really use. Maybe it's Netflix, and then maybe it's YouTube TV. Cancel the rest. If you're really focused on your budget and trying to lowering expenses, focus on the eating out, focus on lowering those monthly subscriptions. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but over time, it will add up. Now, if we get on the bigger spectrum of things, we're talking transportation, home purchases, renting, whatever it may be. That could definitely lower expenses tremendously. If you're paying a rent to rent out a nice condo that has the pool, that has the hot tub, that has the nice, decorative kitchen, the granite countertops, and you're paying a premium for all that, the best thing you could do is go right down the block to maybe a little lower end rental condo area, but be saving $500 a month. Think about what someone could do with $500. And yes, that's true. You can go find somewhere cheaper to live if you're living in a very nice upscale area. if you just knock down your living scenario a little bit and go find maybe not as nice of an area, they're not living on the country club or whatever it is, you can save so much money every single month by changing that aspect of rent. Maybe it's you're living in a very expensive home. You can sell that home, pay off that home, and then go buy a cheaper mortgage, buy a cheaper home, have a smaller mortgage payment. Transportation, living expenses, and food are the top 3 things you'll spend on your monthly budget. If you can figure out a way to lower those lower those amounts of expenses every single month, you're going to be set. Brad, what do you think, Mud? I mean, what's your thoughts?
I just want to ask you something because I'm going to talk about it and I'm curious your thought. Did you cut anything from your budget or did you do anything drastic to your budget because you were like needed a YouTube video idea or something like that, and then it turned out to be a really good idea? Because for me, I cut the cord and it kind of was like kind of going to be a YouTube video, and I said to my wife, like, I'm going to cut the cord and make a video, and if it sucks, we'll go back and get it. And then I realized I really didn't need cable, and it's been years now, and I don't. Did you make any changes to your budget and your lifestyle, and then realized, well, did you make any change to your lifestyle because you're a YouTuber and then you kept it, or are the changes you made something that you would have made if you didn't have a YouTube channel and things like that?
Good question. So a lot of our budget scenarios and budget decisions were pre-YouTube channel.
Okay.
Luckily enough, Lindsay and I had our budget pretty set when I started the YouTube channel. So really, to answer your question, no, I didn't have any major decisions I had to make because of that. But when it came down to the decision we were making, we were actually like on our debt payoff journey.
Right.
We said a lot of no's to going out to eat and things of that nature. Because, dude, like Lindsay and I spend a lot of money on going out to eat. Like that is one thing we both love to do.
But you're talking about value,
but
which is
yes. But when we were on that journey though to pay off that debt, like that was our goal.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times where I had to say, babe, let's just cook some chicken and rice and some broccoli instead of putting the beers and burgers on hold. It's a little healthier on the stomach, and it's also a little healthier on the pocketbook. That was probably like our biggest, hardest decision that we had to come up with and make. Right. To really save on those extra dollars that were going out every single month. Because, dude, like we literally spent so much money on food every single month. It was ridiculous. And when we really figured that out and really honed in on our budget, that was our first go-to. Was like, okay, we want to go out tonight. It's a Tuesday night. No, we're going to stay in. And instead of JJ wanting his Indian chicken curry and naan bread, JJ's going to make his homemade chicken curry and naan bread for a fraction of the cost.
You made it for me. It was dope.
Thank you.
I want to talk from my personal experience because mine was different. My wife and I, when we were going through debt, we had monthly fixed meetings where we went through our expenses with a fine-tooth comb. We don't do that anymore. And what I'm about to say is probably going to tell you the reasons why. There's one thing, though, that I do want to like cross-reference to JJ, like stuff adds up. It definitely does. It adds up. And budgeting, guys, is not deprivation. Budgeting does not tell you what you can't spend money on. Budgeting tells you what you can. And it took me so long. And I thought it had to be, we go out to eat 10 times a month. We can't go out at all. No. What I learned later on was instead of 10, make it 2. Because you have to be happy. And some people can go scorched earth, gazelle intense, and go from 10 to 0, but they're going to be miserable. I see some YouTubers that I started with that are still in like their debt-free scorched, and they're miserable.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit longer, but 3 years. After about 2 years, and it was mostly my wife being like, Brad, like, I understand what you want to do here, and this is great, but we need to live. And that flipped my whole philosophy on budgeting. I'll talk about some things we cut. We cut the cord. I'm glad we did. But I do have a YouTube TV subscription, and when shows come up that I watch, I'll get Stars for 2 months. I'll get HBO Max for 2 months and then cancel them. So I'll pick that up. I have Spotify because I listen to things. So like those weren't things, even if I was paying off debt, like I listened to a lot of Spotify. I watch TV with my wife. That's time for us. And we also too, we spent a lot of money on food. And back to like relating to other people, it was so hard to read debt blogs of people that like, I'm eating for $1.20 per person per meal. And I would try and like relay that to my wife in New York, and she'd be like, what are they eating? And is that healthy? Because we like to cook with fresh ingredients. At the time I was plant-based. Like, yeah, like we like to cook. That's something that we do. So yeah, for a family of four, we have $800-900 worth of grocery bills. That's not $1.25 per person. And I realize it doesn't matter like where I make up for money, they don't. And then number one, guys, don't ever freaking compare yourself. Whether it's a budget item, to how fast you pay off debt, to how much debt you have, to how much you're investing, to whatever. Like, don't worry about any of that. I tell you all that to tell you this. If I can go back to Brad $189,000 worth of debt, I've made videos about this and I've got scorched. So I think most of my following now is investing based, so I probably won't. And somebody wrote in like tomorrow's headline, Brad Finn says cancel Dave Ramsey. But it's not about how much you save, it's about how much you make. You can only focus on cutting expenses down to zero. And if you cut your expenses down to zero, your life is going to suck. If I early on would have spent the time that I went through my budget and tried to cut $10 here, $5 here, if I would have taken that time and applied it to how I can make $5-10 here or there, I'd be much better off. And I'm doing pretty good. And this came full circle when I got to read Ramit Sethi's book. And he's like, people want to talk about this Starbucks. Don't go Starbucks every day. And he's like, don't tell me about $5 decisions. Tell me about $5,000 decisions. Because yeah, will $5 add up over and over again? But like and I think what he meant was we spend so much time like, can I cut my food? Can I cut how many times I cut? That sucks. F that. Like, yeah, if you're in debt, you shouldn't go out to eat 10 times a month. But if you got to go out once or twice, if you're dating and you're not married, when you're married, you can say to your wife, shut up and eat the chicken. But when you're dating,
yeah, no, it's so true.
When you're dating and you're trying to like find a life partner that like is still trying to figure you out, you know, you can say, hey, I want to cut back a little bit. But if you can take that time and say, this is my budget is where it is. And I got this advice from people that I spoke to that were already doing this. So like, I'm kind of paying this information forward where it was like, Brad, who cares how much you spend on food every month? Cause I always went over food too. Mine was the grocery store. Cause me and my wife, we love to cook together. And I'd be like, well, I want to buy plant-based and I want to buy whole grain and I want to buy this and it's so expensive. They're like, who the hell cares? So go out and make some more money. If your money clears it, right? What matters is the bottom line, right? And we talk about this on the reverse side. You make $1 billion, you spend $1 billion, you're broke. Well, if I want to spend $200 more on food every month than the normal person, and I want to be like the normal person, I have to go make $200 more. And for me, a natural born hustler, I could go make $200 much easier than I could cut my budget down to a spot where I felt like I was being deprived. Like you have to find that balance. And this is, especially if you're a spouse, this is where money issues and arguments or budgeting come in. You need to say to yourself, I can only cut my budget. I live in New York. I have $1,000 property tax. I have $1,000 insurance. My more like
a month.
I can only
That's
I
less
can only
than, yeah.
I can only cut this shit so low. But I do have 2 hours when my kids go to sleep that I could start a blog, that I could ship stuff on Etsy, that I could put stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I stopped worrying about budgeting once I cut it down. Now budgeting takes months. This didn't happen in my first month of budgeting. It took some months to find stuff that I could clean up. But those were all obvious stuff. That's the stuff that I read in books, or like it was secret magic. Like JJ, guess what I found in my budget that I could cut out of here? No, it wasn't like that at all. I got to the point where I started to walk that fine line of deprivation. And my wife was like, Brad, we're not going to live like this. So I said, okay, can we stay here? And then everything else we want to do, I'm going to work harder to get to that. I'm going to start working harder and harder. So Matt, that's my main thing. Like, find that stuff. And I feel like you're there where you found the stuff in your budget. Focus on energy on how you can make an extra, instead of cutting 10, 15 bucks a month, find out how you can make 15 bucks a month. Because if you take all the time and you get to a spot where you've depleted that $15 in your budget, that's the cap, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You spent all of that time figuring out how you can cut 15 bucks from your budget. But if you spend a month or two and you figure out a way to make 15, that 15 becomes 18, becomes 21, becomes 25, becomes 50. And then before you know it, you're freaking weirdo like JJ and I making a couple $1,000s a month on a side hustle that was strictly derived out of the need to not cut my budget so low, but how can I increase? Right? It's all about that net. That's what I got when I said I got scorched. It was early on with the Dave Ramsey. He loves these like no spend day challenges, no spend days.
If you don't do those,
if you don't, if you spend $0 today and you made 100, you net $100. If I make $1,000 and I spend 500, am I the villain for spending $500 today? Who made more money? I did.
Boom.
You know, I hated no spend days. F that. Tell me about your net days. Like I want to net 500 days every day in the month of July.
Yeah.
With my incoming expenses, I want to net $50 a day. And the next month I want to net $55 a day. Tell me about the net of your income and then your expenses, because budgeting is only one side of the story.
I like that.
Without your income, your budget means dog shit.
Can I say something on top of the expenses? Because what you said was perfect. I agree with it 100%. It's actually that funny that Matt brought this up, because I was talking to Mason about this today. And I try to put these little innuendos into him. You know, I mean, he's 4 years old, but you can never start too young.
I think innuendo was the wrong word there.
Is it really?
Yeah, like an innuendo is when you imply something
you're slow
without actually saying it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Maybe I'm just immature and think of sexual innuendos, but like 69.
Okay, yeah, no, maybe that's the wrong word then. I'm dropping little hints to him. Let's just call him that. Little hints to young Mason.
I don't think innuendo is the right word though.
Okay, a little hints.
Iotas. That's a little bit. Whatever.
I never heard of that before.
Okay, go.
Anyways, so we're going to pay a bill today, right? It's our water and sewer bill. Gonna have it every single month for the rest of my life. I'm gonna pay it. And Lindsay was going to the hospital. Had some family issues going on. Not with Lindsay, but some of Lindsay's family. But so I had the kids this evening, and I've been having them every week, and we've been doing some daily stuff that they don't usually do with me. And Mason's like, Dad, where are we going? I'm like, oh, bud, we got to go pay a bill. And he's like, well, what do you mean pay a bill? So I was explaining to him, like, well, sometimes you owe people money, and you got to pay for this, and you got to pay for that. You got to pay your bills. And he's like, well, how many bills do you pay, Dad? And I was like, well, that's actually a great question, Mason. I said, with that, let me say this. You want to try and have the lowest amount of permanent bills as possible. And what I mean by permanent bills is everyone has to pay a water bill. Everyone has to pay an electricity bill.
The four walls.
Everyone has to pay, your trash bill, unless you burn it out in the backyard like my neighbor. Everyone has those typical bills they got to pay. The cool part is when you get rid of those non-permanent bills. You pay off your student loans, you no longer have a student loan bill. You pay off the credit cards, you no longer have a credit card bill. You pay off the medical bills, you no longer have a medical bill. You pay off the mortgage, you no longer have a mortgage bill. The goal, I think, big time here is, like Brad said, you can cut costs, you can do this, you can do that. It really comes down to, can you make the extra money to front that, to have that higher net margin after those bills are paid, which I totally agree. On top of that, on top of making the extra money, lower those permanent bills. Lower those permanent bills to the lowest amount possible that you can have. Literally, Lindsay and I have our water and sewer, electric, internet, phone bill, and maybe a couple others that are relatively small over the grand scheme of things. And if all hell broke loose and I didn't make any money for 6 months, we know that we could survive on the bare minimum, knowing we don't have any mortgage bills, don't have any mortgage payments besides a rental property, which is hopefully getting paid by the tenant, plus some. But having those having those payments that are kind of the non-permanent is just going to be change. It really does change things, because when you're able to not have to worry about those, and all you got to do is focus on paying the water bill, the electric bill, whatever it may be, I mean, you're set. You're set. That's all that matters. And that's also the so much stress less that you have to worry about, because now when you're set up, you've paid off your mortgage, you've paid off your cars, you've paid off your credit cards, the medical bills, all of those expenses that add up every single month based on money that you've borrowed for these liabilities or whatever it may be. Once those are gone, once those debts are gone, you're set. Because if all you have to worry about is a measly little internet, electric, sewer, maybe a TV bill, whatever it may be, you're done. You're set. And you can even lower those. You can get rid of the TV bill and the internet bill if you want. But I mean, I need internet to work, and most people need internet to work as well. But lowering those permanent expenses on top of what Brad was saying as raising that income, it's the best scenario. And that's what I'm trying to do still to this day, is lower my permanent expenses, raise my income, knowing that I'm set.
Yeah. I at this point, I only think about income.
Yeah.
Like granted, I mean, I guess you get to a point where you're like, every once in a while, I need to go back with my wife, maybe like quarterly, and say, hey, we're doing this. Or if we're budgeting for something, like we just redid our kitchen and bathroom, it started to get a little intense. And I was like, we're in the middle of this, so I can't like cut the cord now on the bathroom. I can't say like, stop buying shit for the bathroom. Like, that's not allowed. But after the bathroom was done, it got to the point where we're like, hey, we need to tighten things up. Like, Tyra and I probably aren't going to be going out to eat or whatever, like, because we went over budget on our bathroom. But my day to day is more focused on what's my net capital every single, just like a business. Like, if you're a business and you tell people that you have $1 billion in expenses every year, I spend $1 billion on stuff. And you're like, whoa. And you're like, but I bring in $100 billion in revenue. Your business, and I saw this firsthand when we had my partner at the brewery from Dubco, Chris. The brewery industry, everything is so expensive. When I told people what we were buying and spending on things, people would be like, what? And then we tell people our mortgage, and they'd be like, yo, that's drug dealing margins. I'm like, yes. So you have to spend money to live.
Yeah.
Very, very hard to have zero expense lifestyle.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that we need like a lifestyle creep where the more money you make, the more you can spend. No, I mean, the key to wealth is raising your income but keeping your expenses exactly the same, right?
So true. So Matt, the guy who left the voicemail, he's still in the chat, said something perfect. He says, I think people should check with friends on what they pay for fees/rates to make sure they aren't getting hosed, or compare notes on ways to save. Which I think is so true, man. So many people in my inner circle, I don't talk to any of them about money. And I try to, man. Like, I try to bring it up in conversation, but I get the like, yeah, like quick laugh and then like change the topic. No one wants to talk finances. No one wants to talk money, dude. I don't know what is so messed up about it. Like, I don't get where that hang up is there. Like,
do you think we take for granted the fact that, like, back to the bromance, like, we have each other to bounce the stuff off of each other?
For sure, dude. When I'm hanging out with my buddies back home who live, local guys here, like, I can't talk to them about anything. Money, growth, entrepreneur, mindset stuff that you and I talk about. There's no way I could talk to him about that.
Because it's funny too, and like, we also own separate businesses too that are based in the same space. The amount of conversations that we have just about business, like, you're really good with the sponsorship thing. You have more subs than me and you get more offers. So like, I get an opportunity. The first person I call is you. Like, hey, have you ever heard of this company? How much did you get from them? What did you ask for them? What were the terms and conditions of that?
Yep.
There's so many, I realize it now, especially like talking to people, like, we are pretty blessed that we have that outlet of money, and money should not be taboo.
So true, man. And find somebody like that. Like, I know it's easier said than done, but try to find somebody like that.
I try and get in, like, I'm not a Facebook user or whatever, but that's like what my family's on. I try and like put things out there, and like, or I'll see my brothers and I'll be like, hey, I'm just curious. Oh, you got a new job? Do they have a 401k plan? You want to talk? Like, they know what I do, but like, I try and bring it up, and it's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I hate to like put this on I feel like it's getting worse. And Jay, maybe you like get this too, where your close friends think that like you're a YouTuber and you have like, so like they think that you think that you're better than them, and like, they don't want to discuss money with you because you make so much money. Like, that's the other thing too. I feel like I missed the opportunity with my friend, like some of my close friends, where when I was like dirt poor, nobody talked about money.
Yeah.
And then in the middle stages, they didn't know how hard I was working to get out of debt and set my financial situation up. And now they know that I'm doing pretty well, financially independent. And now they feel like I'm not in their league anymore. Like, that window to talk to them, I feel like I missed that.
Yeah.
You get that?
I agree 100%, man. Money is a weird taboo topic, and I don't know why it's like that, but I think it will never change. I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
It's unbelievable.
It's weird, man. Great question, Matt.
Yeah. So I think he asked ways to cut down. We talked about that. Not comparing yourself to other people. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't lead by example. Like, I just talked about how I missed that window with my friends. I don't necessarily tell my friends, like, people on YouTube know more about my financial situation than my friends. I don't talk net worth. I don't talk investing with my friends, nothing. They just happen to know, like, that I'm really frugal. And if I'm putting a $50,000 kitchen and bathroom in, they know I paid cash for it. Yeah. So they know I must be doing okay. They know I must be doing okay if I saved up that money. They know I don't have any bills. They more know that stuff. I lead by example that way, of just like, if they ask, I'm always there, but don't compare yourself to, if somebody's eating for $1 a night, that's not worth it.
So would
if
you
they
say,
don't have the lights on, go ahead.
So would you say to maybe possibly start the conversation though, and see if you could get one of those couple close friends to open up?
See, I do know, like, I do know the major roadblocks that most people have with money, mostly from consulting. Like, 4 years of consulting calls now, I've heard the gamut. Yep. I've heard them all. So I know common money issues that single people have, married people have, and old people have. Even like people that should be retired but don't know they can because Their
Right.
jerk off financial advisor tells them they can't. So I definitely know like those pitfalls. So when I'm in certain situations, I never try and like bring up their situation. I try and like know what they might be thinking, and I put that on myself, and then I allow them to be like, I know. Like I'll give you an example. My buddy that is not amazing with money, but his wife's a little more frugal, but they want to do like stonework, patio work,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to spend all the money in the world and go into debt, and she doesn't. And I know that's an issue for him. So I start that conversation knowing that there's tension there with, man, this kitchen's really getting over budget with me, and it's not making Tara or I happy about it. Knowing that he's going to be like, I know, I want to do the driveway, but blah, blah, blah won't let me. Then I could start to talk about, oh, why is she angry? Why do you think that? And I could start to relate those situations and I try and enter conversations by finding relatability and relating it to my story, because most of us have been there.
Yeah. Makes sense, dude. Makes sense. I mean, try to figure out that common ground and bring it up in conversation.
Matt says he likes when we say that we celebrate other people's victories. We really do.
We clap when other people win.
Facts.
You've been saying that from episode 1, dude.
We do. We do. I mean,
that's why we started this podcast, man. That's why we started this little average money community, is we want to see everyone win, dude. Like, you think Brad and I are just doing this because we want to? I mean, we.
I'll quote Mr. Money Mustache.
Go ahead.
I'll quote I don't give a shit about your personal finance. I don't give a shit about your money. I give a shit about making the world a better place and everyone being a lot happier. And I have a strong, strong inclination that if people get their money right, that will happen.
So true, man. So freaking true, dude. I say we ended on that, bud.
Yeah.
What a way to end the episode.
I mean, that's what people like. If you want to YOLO.
Yep.
I don't care about how much money you spend on options.
Yeah.
I do not care. I care about your happiness.
Yep.
Are you super happy and I don't have any risk of losing you? Good. That's what I care about.
Mm-hmm. That's true, man.
Might be moving from Long Island to North Carolina. Oh, that's Bears Nation.
Hey, he's in the house.
Do not, Brian.
Oh, here we go.
Do not egg him on. I hope Bears Nation just got here.
Let's end this. Let's end this recording before it gets too crazy. Everyone who wants the after party, come to the join the next live stream on the YouTube channel.
Said, let's party. The party's just starting. I got number 18 right here.
I gotta go get me another drink.
We can hang out for a second, guys. But saving money. Thank you so
Boom, baby. Yeah, no, seriously, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. If you guys are working out right now, driving into work, driving home for work, we appreciate mowing the lawn, whatever it is. We appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to listen to us, good old boys on the Average Money Podcast, talk about our money stories, get the voicemails from the live listeners for the first time on the YouTube channel. Guys, we really do appreciate it. And until the next one, everyone take care. Boom, baby.
How long have we been live for? I just can't. I have 7 beers.
Live for a while.
Yeah, it's too much. Thank you.
That was fun, man. Always good. We got to do this again next week.
I don't know how we're ever going to record regular ever again.
We won't.
We
won't. There's no way, dude. This is too much fun.
I really think Ramsey's going to get canceled, and then we're going to have to be the next Dave Ramsey show.
Could you imagine going from
he says some things you're not allowed to say anymore.
To Average Money Boys?
I'm for the guy, but he says things that are just straight up not allowed to be said, and he treats people in his workplace just the way you should not treat people.
Yeah, he's a little out there, man. Like, I mean, most people probably know I'm pretty deep, like big conservative dude, but Ramsey takes it to a whole nother level.
There's one thing about being personally conservative and having your views, and then
so true.
Spouting that at the workplace.
So true.
Like
I may be conservative, but I appreciate everyone's viewpoints. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that type of guy. You got your viewpoints. I love it. Tell me about it. But
Like he's firing people for being pregnant before they're married.
Dude, you don't do that. Come on, man. Like, you don't do that.
Yikes.
It's a little out there.
I don't think Rachel Cruz can handle it. So if he gets canceled, that's our slot, man.
I think somebody else has got it in the bag.
Who?
Graham Stephan, dude.
No way.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Do you follow Graham Stephan? He doesn't talk about money anymore.
His second channel. That's all he does is answer phone calls or whatever he does. I haven't watched in a while, to be honest, but
he's a little clickbaity guy.
Maybe.
Good thing. No, dude, nobody wants to listen to that dude anymore.
I'm uploading these to the drive, by the way.
Nobody wants to listen to that guy anymore.
Boom.
I said it.
Brad said it live on YouTube.
No, it's not. Oh, is it live on YouTube?
We are live.
Sorry, Graham. Maybe you'll respond now after the 700 DMs I've sent you over the last 5 years and you've never responded to me. Including one when I tried to help your podcast and you did the change that I helped you with anyway and didn't give me any credit for it. But then we found out last video that he does a lot of things and doesn't give people credit for it. Did you see him get roasted for that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude, he straight up plagiarized somebody from Reddit. Plagiarized. The one where it was like, there's a huge market. There's the one 2 days ago. A major market crash is coming soon. He just plagiarized somebody from Reddit and they roasted him. Can't believe he didn't take it down.
I haven't seen it.
It was worse than when Andre Jick got freaking called out for reciting that Investopedia article. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that. That was rough.
He got hit hard for that.
That was rough. Can't plagiarize. Got to come up with your own stuff.
If we become the next Dave Ramsey, though, you have to move to New York.
No way. Never going to happen. We'll have to meet somewhere mutual. I'm down to move, but I'm not moving to New York.
What about upstate New York? And our office is in Manhattan. We have to come to Manhattan to work every day. Westchester County is beautiful.
I'd have to go look.
Maybe
I'd have to make a lot of money to make that move, dude. Why not come to Missouri and live on literally like a fraction of the expenses?
Is that why he's in Nashville?
I would move to Nashville. That'd probably be like I would be an easy spot to move to for me.
Brian said, so I have a financial question. I don't know everyone to know what's the best way to contact with you guys. You can
DM us.
You could DM me. I'll answer your DM.
Yeah, DM us on average.
I owe you like 3 hours of my time. Or you can, if it's a question for me, you can just email me thefinmindset@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's probably the best.
Or me at Buckner Media or JJ@bucknermedia.com.
Yeah, I still have a Gmail. I have under 100,000 subs.
Yeah, he sucks.
Brad Finn.
Dude.
Or Discord.
Good time, Brad.
Brian, you want to be in my Discord? Get into Discord and I'll give you a month on me.
Boom. There you go.
I'll give you the month of July, Brian. Get in my Discord. DM me. Say I'm Brian. And I'll give you a month for free.
You get 6 DMs saying, I'm Brian.
I know I'll have to.
And the username says like, hi, my name is Chad. Oh, man. Guys, hey, I'm going to end it here.
For real, though, Brian, if you find me. Actually, Brian, DM me. Email me. thefinmindset@gmail.com. You can ask your question. And then